This week's episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Do you need a portfolio to showcase your work, a store to sell your products and services? How about a blog to share your ideas? That's right, Squarespace has everything you need to make your next move into a reality. Not to mention, with their beautifully designed templates and customizable features, making that beautiful site is a simple and intuitive process. That's right, just add and arrange your content with a click of a mouse. Start that free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code BOMBCAST to get 10% off your first purchase.
Hey, it is Tuesday, June the 6th, 2017. Everybody's in a dancing mood here in the Giant Bombcast.
I'm feeling skippy.
I haven't slept in days!
Yep, that will happen.
Yeah.
This is the second Bombcast in a row. I've burned my tongue right seconds before starting on very hot tea.
Hot tea?
It's all those hot takes.
The water that comes out of the water dispenser here is extremely hot.
It's very hot.
Wow, they didn't mess around.
Too hot for drinking.
Could you bathe in it?
I got that
I wouldn't
DVD.
even, I wouldn't even too hot
for drinking. Yeah.
I don't think I would even know.
I would
Too hot
chill
for
in a
bathing?
sauna.
Okay. We were out of hot water the other day.
Ooh,
You
And I
should
was
steal.
thinking, I'm like,
they got a whole bunch here. You should just take it.
Yeah.
It's very
I was thinking,
hot.
Yeah. Like put it in some jugs,
Mhm.
some big thermoses.
You can always shower at the office.
Yeah.
There's
No, that's
no,
weird.
There's no
That's
shame
weird.
in it.
I kind of want to take an office shower.
I've done it.
I've never done it.
Quite a few times.
It seems strange. I don't know if I could wrap my head around that.
That's, you know,
I would
Showering
rather
at
go
work.
the rest of my life having never showered at the office.
Yeah.
the basement
Me too.
shower is the best shower.
Well, of course.
If you have to shower here,
lots of
I recommend a
lots
lower
of friendly
level.
people down there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where the bikes
Real,
go,
real,
right?
real cruisy.
It's
Real
the
cruisy down
biggest. It's the biggest one. You got the most moving around room
there.
in the basement shower.
Mhm.
Hey, we're going to E3 soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
This week.
Really?
This week we will have
Friday.
E3
Shit.
coverage.
It's like 3 days from now.
Yeah.
We're going down there.
On the final day of this week, there will be E3 coverage on the website.
Will there be coverage?
Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
EA,
not.
EA is Saturday.
Okay, I guess that's technically this week.
Saturday is yes.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean,
If you want to be all technical
by
about it.
law.
No matter where you start your Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the-
Saturday is still this
it's
week.
the ever escalating arms race of when E3 starts.
Yeah. Yeah. What a weird thing. Like EA is not at the show anymore, and
Did they do that last year? Or were they fully out?
they were fully
As
out
of last
so,
year?
So the thing that they did last year is they ran their own separate show, EA Play, but they ran it very close to E3,
Right.
so it was walking distance, and you could just kind of get in.
Right. Were they at LA Live?
And yeah, they were.
Yes.
which
That
is
practically
a
is
shopping,
E3.
which is like a strip mall, a fancy LA style
Yeah.
strip mall.
But
Was that the one that was like Cirque du Soleil-ish? They had a
Yeah,
bunch of
maybe.
reflective clothing, people jumping
Something
around.
like that. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, crucially, LA Live is like across the street from the convention center.
Right.
So it might as
Yeah.
well be part of E3.
Yeah, so they did 2 days there
Yeah.
and then shut it down. And when they shut it down there, because that's where they had Titanfall 2 for the first time, and whatever else they had. I don't know. I went and played Titanfall 2. I don't even remember. They took some of those games and actually put them on the show floor proper once EA Play had shut down.
Wait, so they did have booth space?
No, it was at Microsoft. So like
okay.
you could go to Microsoft and see Titanfall. You could go, so they just had some third-party space that they could show stuff at. And my understanding is that some of these games will undergo a similar move or will be shown in some capacity on the show floor by third parties. Whether that's, or by third parties to EA. So whether that's first-party console manufacturers or like NVIDIA, I don't know, like who they'd be partnering with to show that stuff. I don't actually know. But yeah, they're in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes away
trek.
from the convention area, from downtown.
But also, I think that thing will be shut down before E3 proper even starts.
I guess so, yeah,
I'm
because
not
they're
mistaken.
Saturday, and then they're letting the public in. Like, I think they're still. I don't know. I got an email to my work address that was like, because I've ended up on all kinds of mailing lists as like a consumer or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you should come to EA Play. So I'm guessing they're not sold out.
Huh.
I don't know for sure, but it did seem like it was very much like, get your tickets right now.
We should go.
'cause you still
we should go
can.
to that.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go to
You
that?
want to go to that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right.
I already put you on the list. So
Great.
you're going to
Yeah.
that.
I would love to go to that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to go play?
What? Yeah.
You want to go to the Content Creators Cove or whatever the hell they have?
I just want to run around and yell EA Sports. It's in the game.
Is it like a pirate themed influencers lounge?
Yeah, something. So they literally, it was in their announcement that they have an area. If you want to live stream from the event, you can come here and we have all the stuff set up so you can live stream to your channel.
I feel like I want to go straight there.
I've
Yeah.
seen that at a ton of events.
Oh, yeah. Like, the idea-
Twitch Lounge and stuff like that. But yeah, just having like demo stations for streamers to just like plop down, hey, stream to your stuff
I just
right
like,
from the show floor.
That's one of those things where I look at it and go, man, the world is weird now. Because I look at that and go like, under no circumstances would I want to run my independent stream from inside your booth. That's no.
My stream is just going to be me standing behind somebody else streaming with my smartphone,
There you
pointing
go.
the camera at their stream and talking over them, talking
Smart.
over the game.
Yeah.
Oh, a live React video.
Yeah. The most rogue of streams. Yeah. So they're doing that stuff there. They've got their whole thing open to the public.
You don't pay to get into that.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, I don't think they sold tickets.
Okay.
I know last year they were free.
Okay.
I assume it's the same case this year, but
Do you think we're going to get another hour of post-show red carpet?
oh god, I hope so. I mean, they've got Battlefront stuff to show, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be their big multiplayer game there. So
Bring Snoop back out?
oh god, I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely hope that they just reproduce that exact event.
Maybe they have something new and even better up their sleeves.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Well, yeah, like
Cocaine
a
this time,
different caliber of talent, a different caliber of narcotic.
What's the pairing this year?
This year it's Battlefront, which everyone thinks about Star Wars Battlefront. They think about Hoth.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's Gary Busey and cocaine?
yeah.
Is that where we're going?
We got Gary Busey and cocaine, and then just I don't know, a bunch of people are on Angel Dust they've been smoking dust out back for no reason.
Various forms of powder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Various gray and beige dusts
Yes.
for whatever
Product
Zac
tie-in.
Efron. I hope Zac Efron is back.
Yeah.
That's. But like at the same time, like who wants to repeat an old joke, right? You know,
Yeah.
like I hope that they come up with new material.
Yeah.
Well, they should just get his co-star from Dirty Grandpa and get Robert De Niro
There you go.
on Dust.
The dirty grandpa himself?
Yeah, the Dirty Grandpa himself.
The dirty, dusted
Work their
grandpa.
way through the Dirty Grandpa universe. Get
Yeah.
all supporting characters.
That would be wonderful. Well, I'm trying to think like what Zac Efron was just in Baywatch, right?
Yeah.
And
The
that,
Rock.
and that like tanked.
Apparently
hard,
did not
so-
did not
that
do
movie
well.
did not do well.
Weird. Who could have?
Honestly, I watched the trailer for that movie and I went, huh, like at least twice.
Yeah. I like it. To me, I looked at it and went like, oh, is this from the people that did 21 Jump Street? Because that's
that
the
movie
only.
was fucking rad.
No,
Yeah.
I don't believe it was.
Okay,
No.
but it looks like it's cut from the same
it's
cloth,
like
right? It's
copying
like,
their
it's
style,
like here's
kind
this thing that is totally was not a super lewd thing, and they're like, we're going to make it an R-rated comedy.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
That's one way you could go with it.
Yeah, and I like The Rock. I think he's done fine work in film.
When did he become, like, I keep seeing people say he's the highest paid movie star in the world now. Like,
Yeah.
where the hell
It's
did
the
that come
Fast
from?
and Furious movies.
I
That
guess
has
so.
to be
I
what
guess-
put him
I guess
over the
that's-
top.
that's
sure.
what
I think
pushed him
that
over the top.
definitely pushed him into like that kind of big time leading man stuff, right? I mean, yeah, and he's off shooting Rampage right now. Which when we talked about it on this podcast 1,000 years ago,
Is he the King Kong or the Godzilla?
I'm gonna assume he's gonna be the King Kong.
Okay.
Because Lizzie, the lizard, was a lady. So
Yeah.
if
Well,
they're
sure.
sticking true to what we know as the
Hey.
Rampageverse,
If Ghostbusters can be girls,
yeah,
guys can be-
Oh,
absolutely.
I can't believe they ruined Rampage.
That's not my Lizzie. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume that he would be the George.
okay.
Wait, do we have any idea what direction they're going? Is it CG?
I have no idea.
I would
mean, it would
assume-
have to be, right? It's not going to be like
From the
practical
minds who brought you
effects.
I mean,
pixels.
I assumed he'd be the everyman fighting against the giant monsters.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
But I think I want to say
Like,
that
you know,
it's an
he's-
everyman who turns into a giant monster who then like fights on the side of the
Oh, wait,
everyman.
they are people, aren't they?
They are people.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Don't
Yeah.
they like
It's
turn back
experiments
into...
gone wrong, and then when they run out of life, they turn back into naked people and then
right.
shimmy off the
Oh,
screen.
that's right. I totally forgot about
Yeah.
that part.
It's actually just a shot-for-shot remake of San Andreas, but with giant monsters attacking instead of an earthquake.
It actually is just San Andreas where they've CG'd monsters into some of the shots, and they're just like, eh.
We didn't think
Close
anybody
enough.
would notice.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that.
Yeah, it's fine. And then people who do know are like San Andreas. That was a great video game movie too.
You think they're going tongue in cheek with that?
Rampage. I think you'd have to.
You have to. I would think you.
Like
would
I don't
have
think
to.
you could make
better
a
not.
serious giant monster.
I don't
movie
think that would
anymore.
stop them from trying.
Yeah.
I could see them totally misreading.
Well, whatever. That game was goofy and like I'm punching this light bulb and then I get shocked.
Yeah.
It's all that dumb shit.
Rampage is pretty good.
Rampage was pretty good. And they made like a zillion of those games. There's like a Rampage party. There's like a Rampage puzzle game.
Or something, yeah.
World Tour,
Okay.
Universal Tour. I forget.
I could see a puzzle game being okay.
Oh, yeah, there was like a space twist to it that I played quite a bit of.
They made a lot of those games through like I want to say like PS1, PS2 era.
Really?
Like they're kind of a lot of Rampage games. It's really
Huge black void in my brain.
totally right.
Wow.
I mean, I played Rampage World Tour, which that came to
Yeah.
I think that came to arcades even, but then it just Midway just kept going with it,
Really?
and it's just
I don't remember that.
yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. The Rock should have made that Spy Hunter movie starring The Rock.
Right.
That was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That game came out, right?
That's right. That did happen.
Nowhere to Run.
Yeah, I think so.
The game based on the movie that never came out.
Yeah, exactly. Spy Hunter. I mean, that's easy. We have a car. It's got guns in it. That's the whole lore.
Yeah.
That's all you
And
need,
also, there's another
honestly.
car that can fucking extend spikes out of the wheels to make you wreck.
That's plenty of ideas.
That's the
for
car
me.
that appears
Yeah.
like right before the trailer ends.
Exactly. And it goes, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And or yeah. And I guess that's the weapons van. You driving the car into a moving van.
Oh yeah.
Which
Who drives the? It's got to be like some nerdy, quirky guy who drives the weapons van and like hooks up the weapons
Yeah,
to your car.
absolutely. Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
Or Sean William Scott. Can he still play that role? Can he?
I think he's a little haggard.
Yeah, he might be a little.
It's like,
That's
probably put your own weapons on.
Yeah.
You probably want some Haggard there though, right?
Yeah.
You want some Haggard driving. Maybe like
Okay.
the egghead is in the passenger seat
okay.
on that one.
Sure.
And he's like running through all these weapons, and the Rock's just kind of hits the wall and says, "Give me the biggest gun you've got."
Yeah.
That's my rock impression.
That's a good one.
Hey, I'm the Rock.
Yeah.
Do you smell what I have in the oven?
Look at me.
That's that catchphrase, right?
Yeah, look at me. I'm the Rock. And then he pulls the gun off of the car and holds
It just
it and goes,
runs.
"Ah!" while it shoots. And then all the spies have been successfully hunted.
Yeah.
Do you think
death.
do you think a spy hunter is himself a spy?
I think to
Or is
catch
he
a
just-
spy.
is he just a hunter of spies?
Yeah.
Or is he a spy who hunts spies?
Well, what is it? He's a merc. I mean, it's spies versus
okay.
mercs, right?
He's probably
That's
he used to be a spy. I can picture him like having been a spy at one point.
ex-spy.
So it's dark past.
Spy versus spy? That's what you're saying?
spy versus ex-spy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Video games.
I would see that movie.
Spy versus ex-spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, man.
We
I don't know.
got a few days left. What's happening in the I don't even know.
Yeah, no, I've been kind of
Help me out here.
doing my thing. I've been playing a lot of Tekken.
Yeah.
Which
How is that?
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we I'm trying to remember there was like a weird embargo last week. Did we talk about it at all?
A little
I
bit.
think we just
but
barely skirted it.
It was strange
like-
because the game
was
came
like-
out so long
Game
ago.
came out like
Right.
Thursday on yeah, but it's also 2 years
Yeah.
old. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
but it sounds like the story mode and stuff is all new, right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like maybe the interesting stuff. Or whatever. I mean, it's all interesting. It's a new Tekken. but-
Yeah, it's a new Tekken, which
but-
it's been a long time since there was a Tekken 6, and then Tekken Tag, I guess, less long. But even that is like an old game at this point.
Yeah.
So it's been a while for Tekken. So it's good to see it back.
And
I like what they've done to it.
I watched, there was a Digital Foundry ran like here's the entire Tekken series and
Yeah.
everything cool they did from game to game. And I watched that over the weekend and they used to put out Tekkens really fast.
Yeah, they did.
They put out a lot of Tekkens in rapid succession and then they stopped.
Well, Tekken 4 happened, and I feel like that was where a lot of people jumped off.
Yeah.
They made some changes
Yeah,
there.
they even made that point that it
was
alienated a lot of people.
That was the Virtua Fighter 3
Right.
of Tekkens.
But even after that, there were 4 or 5 more releases because they kept doing Tekken Tags and Dark Resurrections and
Yeah.
like- there were,
there
Tekken-
PSP exclusive
Right.
Tekken 5. And,
But then last generation they only did one Tekken, right, which was 6.
yeah.
I think is right.
And then,
And
Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Tag 2 came out.
Yeah.
But that was just a graphical over. It was a Soul Calibur Dreamcast 2. You know what I mean? It was like a graphical. That's what they said. It was like a graphical update to an existing. There was like an arcade.
Well, it came
there
out,
was an
yeah,
arcade
that came
release
to
of Tekken Tag
arcades.
2
Yeah.
that was on old hardware.
Right. Yeah.
So even that was kind of an old game.
Sure.
Point
yeah.
is they started spacing Tekkens out
Yes, they
quite
did.
a
And
bit
there was like
more
Tekken
than-
Revolution, which is their free-to-play
Yes.
Tekken game, which was just a really strange thing that didn't. It didn't really catch on with me. I don't know anyone that played it.
I never.
I had never heard anyone
Either way,
into that thing.
No.
Yeah, it's super cool to see Tekken proper.
Yeah, and now they're positioning this as like the conclusion.
The conclusion of the Mishima chapter.
Yeah. Okay.
They've got some history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some offspring and stuff. There's family lineage and stuff. There's volcanoes.
There's Akuma.
I saw
Kuma now.
Dude, I saw a clip of like child Kazuya fighting
Kid Kazuya.
Yeah,
fighting
that's
like
the-
middle-aged Heihachi.
It's
with, like,
fucking awesome.
with, like film grain filter,
Yeah.
just like sepia tone footage.
and that's like the first thing in that story mode.
Wow.
That's pretty great.
So yeah, it kind of just is a weird retelling in some spots of
It
the
fills in
Tekken
a lot of
saga.
gaps
Yeah.
too.
Like it's like here's a flashback to Tekken 4, and it actually shows the cutscene, the arcade intro from Tekken 4, where the Jack's face fucking expands,
It's like same
and there's a
footage?
countdown time. Yeah, it is that scene
Integrated into the story.
but then it like suddenly has a bit of a seam from into real time. They have recreated that stage that took place on in the Tekken 7 engine. And you're fighting on it now, and now you're fighting the Jacks before they blow up, and it's like there's like really cool, weird moments that
Like flashback moments.
that you wouldn't expect. And,
But then they also have some really high highs where this is the culmination of these two guys duking it out. So like it's a final fucking battle. Shit goes down.
Yeah.
And they make it extremely dramatic. It's
cool.
really cool.
And the Tekken storyline got so off the rails.
Sure.
After Jin came into the picture, and they're like, well, to fight the Mishima Zaibatsu, we also have the G Corporation.
Right.
And at the outset of this, Kazuya sits at the top of the G Corporation. Jin was the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu, but he is still, reeling from the events of Tekken 6. So he's wandering around the Middle East, assumed missing. No one can find him. They can't find him because he's just like stumbling around out there. And so Heihachi returns to take over the Zaibatsu,
of course.
and that sets events in motion.
comes out of retirement.
Yeah.
Where's the devil fit into all this?
The devil
Inside.
the devil's blood
inside.
is inside of Kazuya, as it always has been, and as a result, since Jin Kazama is his son,
He is also of the devil.
touched by a demon. The demon.
He's a little more than touched by a demon.
Yeah.
He's like
He's
becomes mostly demon.
He
at
can
a
turn
point.
into he can just kind of do stuff.
One of the new characters is Heihachi's wife, like Kazuya's mom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
She
so
She throws tigers.
She shoots tigers.
she fucking throws
Yeah.
tigers.
That checks out.
yeah.
What's her name?
Kazumi.
And she might have a little bit of that demon blood running through her.
Aha.
Yeah.
Maybe where that started.
Yeah.
all the-
there's some interesting stuff.
Of all the fighting game like stories, Tekken has always been the best at being super serious and just like the stakes. I mean, like just how angry everyone is. It's just like,
At its core,
just
like
dramatic,
with the
and
core
serious,
characters, for sure. Like but all the other characters, like their kind of
Yes.
non-canon endings or whatever,
Are some
of all
of
those
the
arcade games,
most ridiculous
yeah, are
endings
some of the
and-
greatest
Yeah.
FMV sequences in video game history. And this game is lacking on that front, honestly. Like that stuff is largely missing.
The arcade endings are a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
At least the ones I've seen.
That's a shame.
After you beat the main story mode, you can actually it unlocks the ability to play as these other characters and get their story stuff, but it's like fucking still frame, like here's some text, one fight,
and then an FMV
and then
ending
a
that's
real
like
quick
less,
FMV.
Yeah,
Not great.
It's pretty fast and
Not super wacky.
of the
yeah.
6 that I've seen, like fucking throwaway.
They do
They're
have
really
all
bad.
of the previous FMVs from every Tekken in there.
That's
Right,
super cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that
You
stuff-
can
that stuff is
unlock
there.
like all those opening movies and stuff, and it's a nice package.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like the online has not been working super well post-launch
On
over the
PS4
weekend on
anyway.
PS4. People were
Yeah,
running into
I think
trouble.
mostly for ranked stuff.
I haven't found
okay.
a single match.
Oh, really?
In
Ranked
2
or-
sessions, ranked or unranked.
Oh, no.
Well, I
Okay.
haven't looked for ranked yet. I was
Okay.
just looking for player matches. I searched for maybe a total of a half hour
Okay.
over 2 different sessions, just trying to find a game and
That
nothing.
sucks.
Sitting in practice, but trying to create my own rooms, just nothing.
Hopefully that's just a launch weekend
Yeah.
symptom that,
Yeah.
that
I'm
gonna try
is
again.
going to go away. But
Sounds like they're aware
but I've
of it.
definitely
They're
heard a
working
number
on
of
it.
people having that problem.
You
Yeah,
say
me
you're
too.
on PC?
I'm on both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, double
Find
dip.
any matches on PC or?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I've been playing treasure mode for the most part, which is
Treasure Moon?
yeah, treasure mode. Loot, dude.
You kind of fight like AI takes on. Well, I guess like if you go back to Tekken 5 where they introduced it, it's supposedly it is data taken from real players, and kind of combined, and so you see their custom character with their name and that sort of stuff, and you fight them, and it unlocks some of the customization stuff. So you just kind of fight and earn money to.
You're really
unlock
underplaying
stuff,
the customization stuff.
The customization stuff is
fucking. There's
really
lasers.
good.
There's big chain swords.
Yeah.
There's a gun that shoots sardines.
I wish that you could
I can
unlock.
put frogs on the ground. It's great.
I wish you could unlock stuff for your character that you want by playing that character, because it's kind of random. So there's items that work for all characters, and then there's character-specific items that you have to first unlock and then buy. But to even unlock them, you have to get the random drop, and they just
sucks.
kind of randomly. It doesn't happen for what character you're playing. It's just here's one for Kazuya.
That's
unfortunate.
Not great.
But that stuff comes pretty fast and frequent.
It does
constantly
You're
between
getting
matches.
stuff
Yeah, and
always.
if you get like a perfect, you get an additional treasure chest. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or like a great, where you have like a sliver of life. They're throwing stuff at you all the time.
That's that thing. I saw a screenshot going around of a Brian that was a shockingly accurate Skeletor.
Yep.
Like spitting image.
Yeah.
I've seen Eno from Guilty Gear. I've seen McCree and Soldier 76. I've seen a lot of just spot on other characters.
That's good.
I've been trying to figure out if there's like a really good Kenny Omega in there, but I'm just not seeing it.
You would think, man.
You'd think with the Bullet Club T-shirts in there that this would be a no-brainer.
I would give him Brian's body, and let's see. There's got to be hair that looks like Kenny Omega's.
I was trying
like all the hairstyles.
I was trying with Paul initially because
okay.
Well, I don't know if maybe it's not a Paul specific item, but there are like wrestler trunks, and boots and stuff. And
yeah.
Maybe
you could just do King's body too.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Just give Kenny Omega a tail.
Yeah.
That
might work out.
In my fanfic, that's how he is.
He's had one all along.
You can hang from the belt.
Yep.
Is that what they're called? The wrestlers' belts that go around the ring?
Ropes.
Sure. The wrestler
belts. That's what everyone's trying to win. Then they cut them off. Just like at the end of a basketball game, you cut the hoop down, they cut the ropes, and that's a belt.
Okay.
Holds up their trunks.
Yeah. They've made some interesting gameplay changes. They've added supers to it. So you kind of, when you are low on life, you have an opportunity to use one of two moves.
Super easy to execute.
What's the other one?
There's a Rage Art and a Rage Drive.
Okay.
They both have specific motions, but one has a shortcut to like R1 on the PlayStation controller.
So when you go into like Rage mode, you're low on life. Your character starts flashing red. So you can like cash that out with like the Rage. So there's Rage Art.
Rage Art and Rage Drive.
There we go. Rage Drive. You can do like a specific move to kind of cash that out, and it's like a big launcher typically, and you can do a big combo. But you don't get the additional damage because you're not red anymore. But you keep that, I think, if you do the Rage Art.
I think both of it uses it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And any attempt, like even if it whiffs, like it's just done.
Gotcha.
Is the one that doesn't have the shortcut better in some way?
Not always. It's character to character. Yeah.
It can set you up for a better combo that may do more damage than the actual just super move would do.
If you're able to capitalize on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But they've got, moves that have armor now, so you're kind of like punching through hits to knock people out. They've got like really dramatic camera angle stuff in there where they'll zoom in for some of these bigger hits.
That little slow motion when you're both about to hit each other. It's like, which one's going to connect?
A round ending hit, the kind of slow-mo stuff. Very dramatic stuff. It's like a really smart addition. It's fun. I have played some online, and it's worked okay for me. I didn't try over the weekend, so maybe it is broken, but I mostly kind of played offline. I got all the trophies in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought I saw that you got the platinum already.
Yeah, it's not.
Doesn't seem tough.
It's not that tough.
No,
to get. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I completed story mode, I think, and I had like 44% already. It's like, maybe I'll keep going.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's just very easy to knock out.
Yeah.
And there's
hey, go
one
to this stage
like,
and do this. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. And you can do that in practice mode actually. So you can kind of just get that stuff really quickly.
I'll say the one thing that's really disappointed me about Tekken 7 is the lack of tutorialization in it.
Yeah.
You can run through you can pick a character, go to training mode, and run through your moves and some basic combos, but like it doesn't tell you if it's successful. You just kind of have to see if your combo meter is going up. Like, okay, that was a 4-hit combo. I guess I did it right. There's no seamless switching between demo and practice. Like you can't just watch it, and you have to like go through the menu, watch it, go back through another menu, and then display it on the screen. There's I was trying it with Steve Fox, who has 144 different combos on that list.
I don't think he's a real good beginner character.
No, I maybe not, but also completely lacking in the game.
Like, how would you know otherwise?
Yeah, like how do I play Tekken?
Right.
Like, when should I be sidestepping?
Right.
When should I be, show me how to do a basic corner combo or a juggle combo with, any character. Just like run me through Heihachi, how Street Fighter will do with like, here's Ryu, here's the basics of Street Fighter, here's how you duck a fire or jump over a fireball and stuff like that.
I think that Tekken's been really bad at that for years. There was some stuff that they did early on that wasn't necessarily like a great explanation, but was really good if you wanted to learn the timing on some of the combos, where I don't think they have it anymore. I don't think they've had it in the last handful, like most of them at this point, but you used to be able to do like demo mode of these different strings. And so it would do the 10-hit combo, and it would make different noises for each button press.
It still does that.
It does that? Does that in 7?
And in demo mode.
Awesome. Okay, great. That's good, because that was a little
helpful, yeah.
There are still combos from that game that I remember by the way that sounded.
Yep.
From like Tekken 1 and 2 and
especially
stuff
with
like
like
that.
King's like chain throws and stuff. You've got to hit stuff at a specific time. You can't really mash it out. So having those audio cues,
like
super
you,
helpful.
at some point you just memorize the rhythm of that in your head, and it kind of becomes second nature in a really smart way. Like that's like the one thing that they brought to like a training mode or something like that I wish that more games did.
Still,
I didn't even know that was in there.
Yeah, it's a really neat thing.
I don't think Ben nailed it. They're not doing a great job of teaching mechanics,
and
or
also
anything
like
that.
so that stuff that like actually the trophies gave away, because it was like do a screw, do 10 screws.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Sure.
Yeah, I love to screw, but I.
Did you ever figure out what it was? Or did you just...
It is a specific type of attack that is like has replaced bounds, which so at some point Tekken, like the Tekken lingo got away from me, like post 3, where it's people talking about bounds as like a here's how you juggle, here's how this stuff, and it's stuff that they introduced in later games.
It's a specific like state that you can put your enemy in. Like you hit them with a specific thing. Sometimes they just kind of bounce up, or with a screw they're like action movie like flipping through the air, kind of spiraling and shit.
So I think that's the screw is the thing that ends up kind of leaving him kind of like stuck in the ground practically.
I think so.
Like,
see, I don't know.
Yeah. Like that stuff that's
you
could dig it up on a wiki, but they should probably put that stuff into the game.
So that's the thing. I ended up finding myself going to a wiki and just kind of it was doing a way better job of explaining here are your basic like B&B combos, here's kind of your movement options, here's what you want to do for this stance, and I was like, this should be in the game, especially after playing a bunch of Guilty Gear, which has an incredible tutorial system. A lot of people have been burned by Street Fighter. We said it before, and are looking for another fighting game franchise to get into. And so Tekken already Tekken has more Steam users than Street Fighter V has had at its maximum.
Wow, that's great.
Really?
I bet. Yeah.
And imagine if they had a really good tutorial system there that could get people there to stick. I've seen people who aren't at all familiar with fighting games being like, I bought it and I'm starting to try it out, but I don't know what to do.
And I think early Tekken games were a little more accessible than this one in some ways, but a little more inviting. Like, because I think people were more willing to just kind of jump into a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there were a ton of people that just, like Soul Calibur kind of appealed to a lot of people. Like, I knew a lot of people who played Tekken that would never touch most video games, let alone most fighting games.
Sure.
Like it just was an iconic PlayStation launch game that like a lot of people got into and found that like, oh, one button per limb, that's something I can wrap my head around and at least kind of do something and feel like I'm mashing it out and having a good time.
Tekken 2 was such a fucking like sensation.
Yeah.
Like that game was huge.
That game's amazing.
Everybody I knew was playing Tekken 2.
And those first 3 Tekken games were fucking incredible. And so I think that there's a missed opportunity to like not just extend some kind of olive branch to new players and go like, all right, look, we're gonna try to help you get up and running just a little bit better than you'd be by just mashing it out.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Doesn't seem like this one has much in the way of like the nonsense modes, like Tekken Bowl, like the bowling or Tekken Ball, or like any of that.
None of that.
Not much of that.
That stuff's been
kind of a
fun,
bummer.
but also they've done a lot of that over the years.
Maybe it's kind of
so
played out.
It is a little. I think they would have to come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
At this point, and they have, like even the Tekken Force mode, like that brawler mode they introduced, became kind of a larger thing at some point to the point where you're like, oh, this is like I don't even know if I want to do this anymore because it is it's a little more involved in a way that feels less goofy and kind of tossed off fun. But
you can always go back and play Death by Degrees, starring
true.
Nina Williams.
That is
right.
That is always an option.
Yeah.
Tekken Mythologies, Sub-Zero.
I didn't realize watching that video that Tekken kind of grew out of Virtua Fighter in a way. That they said like one of the I think it was VF1, one of the key employees left for Namco and headhunted a bunch of people from the team.
Oh, huh.
Like brought several people with him to start up Tekken.
Those games were always positioned as rivals because they were the 3D fighters.
Right.
It was like, here are the two games that are kind of pushing this away from the
Street
sprites
Fighter
that you know
model.
of, and into the third dimension.
Yeah.
And so it was always Tekken and Virtua Fighter.
Yeah. What's the potential for this with the Evo crowd? Is it going to be big?
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah.
I think it's a new mainline Tekken, and Tekken always
People
has
are really digging it.
Yeah, like Tekken always has its fan base, and like I think this game seems to be bringing in people, just because there is kind of a vacuum. I think it's a really good
Especially
time.
with, like Street Fighter V letting a lot of people down. People are hungry for something new.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't wait to watch a bunch of Koreans come and whoop our ass at Tekken.
Yeah,
at Evo.
That's how it always goes, right?
Yeah.
That's
ATL's going to represent, man. Tekken is fucking huge down in the south.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta area.
That's true.
Yeah. Ton of people play it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is this like the glorious return of Tekken, or is this like the
I hope
swan
so.
song?
I think that this is a really good spot for them to keep going. Like this is,
But with like a new,
I think that they've got like
lineup?
an opportunity for a new hook for like what is this story going forward? Because for as much as it's like, oh, it's the culmination of the Mishima saga, like they could go either way with it, because by the end of this thing, like really nothing has been resolved.
oh, okay. All right, never mind.
This could continue exactly as it is gone.
I assumed somebody was going to get thrown in a volcano and not climb back out, or something.
That's
You're going to have to play it and find out for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, Heihachi died in Tekken 4 or something. At some point, they were like, Heihachi Mishima is dead.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And they're like, actually, no. So it's really beyond life and death.
Okay.
Do they ever get into what Yoshimitsu's deal is?
Probably
He's
somewhere.
got tentacles
He's got,
now.
he's even crazier
he's
looking now.
always like weirder. In
Yeah.
every game, he
Yeah.
just gets progressively
I
weirder.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
just like
He looks like a straight up xenomorph in this one. He's
like
really creepy.
we've got more power to work with on the hardware front, so let's just give him weird tentacles all over and really keep our frame rate up.
I'm thinking
Like,
it's
why not?
about time he gets his own story.
Yeah.
Why is he getting so strange, and how strange can he
And
get?
he's been in Soul Calibur games at this point
Just
now.
a different a fighting game with all the different Yoshimitsus that have ever
coming
been
together.
and a couple new ones.
Yeah. That's good.
That would be good. That game's a lot of fun. What else? That Wipeout Omega collection is out now.
Yeah.
I bought that this morning.
It's been a hot minute since I played a good Wipeout.
Yeah, I bought it because I realized, like, wait, this is like one of the few 4K HDR games on PlayStation Pro. I have all that stuff. I should probably take a look at it. And it looks really nice. It's very crisp, but it's got a good sense of speed to it. But it is that content that came to those older portable Wipeouts.
Which Wipeouts is it?
It is 2048. It is HD and HD Fury.
Okay. HD was PS3 game, right? I think.
And then did it? And
it would have to
then
be
did
if they
it come
called
to
it HD.
Vita?
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't have called it HD if it was handheld only.
And
You're right.
2048
was a. We'd have to look it up.
Okay.
Is that a PSP game?
no
That then,
idea.
because some of that stuff came to Vita.
Yeah.
2048 came to Vita.
Well, I guess the important
Actually, maybe
question-
2048 is for Vita, and then HD came out, and then HD Fury was an add-on pack for HD.
Okay.
I want to say that's what it was.
I guess the important question is, do they like redo the visuals?
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this?
It's
Is it, like
it's
full on new models and everything. Or,
I couldn't say for sure. I'd have to go back
or
and
does,
look.
does it look good?
It looks good.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Does it
Like
look
the
modern?
environments look great. It looks
Is it
like it looks
fast?
modern. It looks fast.
Yeah.
Good draw distance, all that sort of stuff.
like it doesn't look like a freaking Vita game.
No.
At 4K is basically what I'm asking.
No. Like the
Okay.
texture quality is what you want it to be. Like
Okay.
they've done the work. And yeah, so I don't know. I didn't play a ton of it. I just really wanted to see it in motion on that TV, and I was like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I don't know that like
That's it.
yeah, and that's kind of
It's
it.
cool.
It's cool. I go back and forth on Wipeout a lot. Like I like to tell myself that I love Wipeout. They should make a new Wipeout.
Yeah.
And then they put out more Wipeout as they have done occasionally over the years.
Yeah, it's weird because like,
and none of it sticks. Like,
Right.
None of it sticks for me.
well, they keep like stringing Wipeout along without actually committing to making.
Well,
a
I
new
mean,
Wipeout.
they have shut down that studio.
Well, I know
since,
that.
So
I
it's
know
like
that.
even crazier. But yeah, this is more reissued content, which is
Right.
a bummer.
Well, that's
it's the
what I
Ridge
mean.
Racer model of
Yeah.
we don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about this thing.
Yeah, but we also won't let it die. Like,
Right.
we kind of keep dredging it back
Yeah.
up, but we're not actually doing new stuff.
What's the online situation for it?
It has online. I don't know. I have not tried it.
Okay.
But yes, it is present. And yeah, I don't know. Actually, I know exactly what I want out of a Wipeout game, but I don't know if I would necessarily think that would be a great game either. And I want something that goes back to Wipeout XL, and uses that like Designers Republic aesthetic a little more directly. And I remember that game at that time being fantastic, and I feel like Wipeout hasn't captured that since. Wipeout 3 didn't do it. You know, there's every game that came after Wipeout XL just felt like, either the visual style of it is not as good, or just the racing is not as much fun, has changed. But I'm also starting to think like maybe it was just very much a time and place thing where Wipeout XL came out at the right time.
Yeah.
It had fucking Red Bull ads and Future Sound of London and the Prodigy and all this stuff at the very right time.
It's a
for it to
perfect
have
storm.
all of that
there
stuff.
There was a definite moment with design and music and stuff going on.
Yeah, it had link cable support at the time when I worked in an office where you might actually be able to exploit that. And that was a lot of fun. But I wonder.
Check it out. What if instead of a new Wipeout, they made a new Extreme G4?
Extreme G4, XG4.
Yeah. Now's the time.
Yeah, now's the time. We should figure out who bought the rights to that from the Acclaim sale.
I mean, people keep making these like quasi Wipeout type. Like
everyone wants to. Yeah,
what was that game for Switch? Fast
Red Out.
Fast Remix, which is an update of a Wii game.
Yeah.
And
I think there was another one in the last year.
Red Out.
Yes. It's like all these people just keep going like, they're not making any more Wipeout games. I guess we will.
Yeah, totally.
Or F-Zeros. Like,
that. There is that too. Yeah.
But I feel like none of those games have really captured it either. And I played kind of a lot of Red Out because it had VR support, and I wanted to mess around with that stuff. And
what's up with F-Zero for that matter?
Dude, people have been asking Nintendo the same question for a decade.
Give me my Samurai Goro.
Yeah, there's a long list now, right, of like these Nintendo franchises that you wish that they would kind of pick back up that they just don't.
They keep putting Captain Falcon in Smash Bros. And he's still just chilling there.
Like think about there being like a generation of players that think that that's where Captain Falcon is from.
Totally.
Period. End of story. And not the sick ass comic book that came with F-Zero.
We need to right this wrong. That's sick.
But also, like, would that be an amazing game in this day and age? Like, would a new F-Zero? I mean, in a world where they're already making Mario Kart.
Well, I want to see the Mario Kart team take, that style, that kind of,
like a faster,
just faster, and then also just really bring up the art. Like, they have all these really colorful, weird characters that were fine in the kind of GameCube era and looked just like generic bad guys and stuff. But seeing the art direction of ARMS and other Nintendo games,
like we're really in this moment of like resurgent creativity out of Nintendo with all the insane stuff they're making right now.
Right.
So like now would be the time to make a new F-Zero for sure.
But also like now would be the time for them to like make a bunch of new stuff
instead.
Or that.
Yeah, that's
if you think about it in terms of like they've got Splatoon going as a recent thing and now ARMS.
Yeah.
Like, is that
the
a
Switch
Nintendo
lends itself to being a console to play a racing game. Like, after playing a bunch of Thumper on it, I'm just like, it feels really good to just hold this in my hands and go fast.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
Love to go fast.
You gotta. I don't know. I really liked F-Zero. I liked that N64 game, too. A lot of people, I think, in its day, I think a lot of people were shitting on that game because of how low poly everything was.
Yeah, but it ran
so fucking
real
smoothly.
good.
Like that was the thing. It was
GameCube,
awesome.
They made the right trade-off.
That's right. They did that GameCube game too.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
They're like, I got to like level 5 in the campaign and couldn't beat it on easy.
Nice.
It was just
brutal. And then what was it? That was that GX?
Yes.
And then AX was the arcade game.
Yes.
That had slightly different stuff that turned out is all actually on that GameCube disc.
Oh, weird.
That if you have like a fucking Game Shark and a whole lot of time on your hands, you can type in 1 trillion codes and totally turn that game into the arcade version of that game. It's a super weird thing.
We should do that.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah, we actually, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, Nintendo's now got this fucking super long list of stuff. I mean, Metroid, like that's the thing people keep clamoring for.
Yeah.
I think that they
tried their new Metroid and in Other M, and that was kind of a disaster.
It was a weird thing.
I
didn't hate that game as much as most people. But
Metroid is the thing. Metroid is the property that I look at and think, I wish Nintendo got into licensing their stuff out to teams or just like bringing in indie teams and saying, please make us a Metroid game in this style.
I think
From Software presents Metroid.
I mean, I think that's what they'd have to do at this point, right? Because like the common narrative about Metroid now is it doesn't sell,
right?
Like, so they would have to make it on the cheap.
Yeah,
to justify it to
traditional
themselves.
Metroid, but I think there's also this has become Sonic the Hedgehog, so I hope everyone is happy for turning Metroid into fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Hey man,
holy shit, you're right. I know you're right.
There is a contingent of people that just want a new Metroid Prime, just like there's a contingent of people that want like a new fucking Sonic Adventure style game, and they're both wrong.
Don't you dare lump me in that same group. I want a new Sonic Adventure.
I love Metroid Prime, and even I don't want another one of those. I want. They should make it.
I'm not clamoring for one, but like I could see. We've learned a lot about. I was gonna say we've learned a lot about the first-person platformer genre in those years, but
to stop making them.
Like
that's primarily. I mean, what was the thing that Metroid did? Is like she looked down.
Yeah. And she could scan and turn into a morph ball.
But I mean, like to make the platforming work, like there was a little bit of down in there.
So VR is the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
because I can look down.
Then you are the Metroid.
I think I would sooner like have them go hire the Axiom Verge guy to like lead a new 2D Metroid team or something.
Yeah, but then also like there's that sweet ass fucking ROM hack of Metroid that came out. There's that another, like if you want like a 2D Metroid game, they're out there. It's just not Nintendo giving it to you.
Right.
And also Axiom Verge is a fantastic game. It might not say Metroid on it, but it still scratches that itch. And so many other games have tried to scratch.
It got a little too Metatroid for me.
Totally.
I really liked that stuff.
All the glitchy stuff, like glitching the sprites out and stuff. Like it felt a little too self-referential for me. Like it's fine as it is, but it's not quite what you would get out of a Metroid.
Sure, but I mean, like other developers have capitalized on that style. Like we're at a point now where I feel like there are almost there were. I think it's tapered off a bit, but like that kind of Metroidvania style. The Symphony of the Night style of game, the Super Metroid style of game, like that's been done in every different way by now.
Yeah.
So in some ways, like it'd be. I personally, I would like to see an actual, honest to God Metroid game come out that capitalized on all that stuff with still kind of maintaining some of that semblance of the old style.
If you play it
I don't know.
on the portable system, it's 2D, but as soon as you plug it into the dock, it becomes 3D with the Pro controller.
And you can punch and curve your missiles.
And look down.
And look down. And that's a terrible idea. I don't know. Yeah. That's...
well, we'll see what they have at E3.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who can say?
I mean, yes. Yeah. That's pretty much all I've played at any length, I guess. We can't... I don't think we can talk about ARMS.
There's Crazy Taxi.
Oh, right. Also, yes.
The new Crazy Taxi game.
The new Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is back, and it's better than ever.
All right. Well, we got to take a break. Let's talk about that when we get back.
Okay. Eye-catching online platforms.
Online?
Online.
I love to be online.
I get online.
It's my favorite place.
Like every day.
Every day?
Every single day.
You got to space it out a little bit.
No, not me.
Loses its effectiveness.
No, I double down.
Then you build up a tolerance to online.
No, I just
need more.
I need more. I just keep going.
Okay.
I need so much more that I've had to start making my own.
Wow, you can do that?
You can.
Don't get high on your own supply.
No, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
And it's easy.
You ignore the wisdom at your own peril.
Thanks to Squarespace.
Oh, yeah?
That's right. With Squarespace, you've got all these templates at your disposal you can use to make anything, any type of online you want to make.
Really? Let's get some of that high-grade blue internet.
That's right. You get that high-grade blue internet, you set it up on your website space, and then you can build a portfolio to showcase your work, or maybe like a store if you want to sell some things.
Just don't let the feds find out what you're doing.
No, that's definitely that's a good idea. I don't care what you're doing. Don't let the feds know. Don't let the feds know about these award-winning templates that you can use to create a beautiful website.
That's a trade secret.
Do not let the feds know that it is a simple and intuitive process, and just do not let them know how easy it is to add and arrange your content with the click of a mouse.
My lips are sealed.
That's right. Keep it that way. Keep
Snitches
it secret.
get stitches.
Yes.
That's how that goes.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. And tell everyone you know, except for the feds, about Squarespace. They've got award-winning 24/7 customer support, so they can help you out if you run into any trouble, unless you're a fed. I mean, probably even if you are a fed.
I mean, you have to.
They would probably.
They would have to tell you if they were.
Yeah, no, you would have to tell them probably also. Make your next move. Start your free trial of these hot web services at squarespace.com today and enter the offer code Bombcast, and that'll get you 10% off your first purchase. Again, that's Bombcast. Huh.
What's up with the new Crazy Taxi?
It's crazy.
Oh. It is the craziest Crazy Taxi sequel that they have ever made.
Yeah.
They got the offspring back.
The what?
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yes. Yeah,
It's
they did.
actually got the song.
It's actually got.
They got two.
There's two Offspring
songs.
songs
Wow.
in Crazy Taxi Gazillionaire.
New
which is-
Offspring songs or
No,
the-
one is the one,
Okay.
and then the other one I don't recognize because it's not
Yeah.
the Offspring song. It's a clicker. It's an idle game. It's an incremental experience.
Okay.
Where you watch the numbers get higher.
Okay.
They go pretty high. I mean,
Go
it's
on.
called Crazy Taxi Gazillionaire.
Ah.
Yeah, which
So
that's
they
a
go-
big.
So you're
numbers.
in the millions in your first day.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm in the quadrillions right now. Over here.
I'm
Nice.
only in the billions.
Man, that's wow. You are not playing it right.
It's in the hundreds of billions.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Something free to play.
It is,
Yes.
yeah, and it's relatively generous with giving out the premium currency in a way that almost seems like they've made a mistake. So that's cool. It's weird. I don't know. It's got a lot of writing in it, and that's actually
That's
the
the
thing that makes
thing.
it stands out. Is on the surface, like you're kind of tapping around a map to pick up fares and all this other stuff, but that's something you kind of abandon quickly because it's much easier just to stop playing the game, let money accumulate, and you can come back to it and buy more stuff and leave and come back.
Watch an ad, double your earnings.
That's right, double those earnings.
But yeah, I have seen numerous screenshots floating
Yeah.
around on social media.
So it's got like you. It also has the concept of like, hey, you're gonna get characters, and they're gonna be like, this is a 3-star cabbie, this is a 2-star cabbie, and so the 3-star cabbies earn more. And so if you get like a
They
good
have favorite. You can associate them with cabs. Like every cabbie has their favorite cab, and if you pair up the right cab and cabbie, it increases the
there are
fares.
bonuses there that'll be like, oh well, this now everyone gets better tips, or now this or the loud cabbie is the one that actually matters because that's the one that makes everyone earn more money. So it's weird. It's a kind of the progression feels broken because I have 2 3-star cabbies now, and I just put them in the first 2 cabs, which are the cheapest ones to upgrade. And I am earning money at an alarming rate in a way that seems like it is outstripping because there's like contracts that you fulfill that are like, pick up 10 fares and, sell out twice, which that's the prestige stuff. And, reset and start over and like get to this area. And by the time I'm getting to the contract for like, get to this area, I'm so far past that now that it's like weirdly, the progression doesn't seem to be lining up.
The company that you prestige with. So by prestiging in the game, you sell your company to the competitor, and the competitor are a prestige taxi corporation.
Nice.
And it's a fake Uber.
Yeah, the guy's name is
and-
Von Gruber.
Yeah, and like so, the writing across this thing is sometimes the cabbies, as you upgrade them so that they earn more money, they'll pop out and issue a line of dialogue.
That's the stuff I've been
That's
seeing.
the
a lot
stuff
of
you've been
screenshots.
seeing, and also when you go to sell the company, the guy from fake Uber comes up, and like literally, like the writing in it is like super fucking now.
Yeah.
It is like mimes complaining about late capitalism,
Yeah.
and it is like
He's like, oh, we used to have a sexual assault problem, but then I hired some broad to take care of it.
Dude, that is like
he does not say assault. He says harassment. That's only slightly better, I guess. But
that could not be more now, considering Uber is having like some
Yes.
Some internal meeting about that as we speak.
Right.
It's leaking on Twitter.
Yeah, it's really like the writing is really fucking crazy in a way
there's
that
like the characters are well designed. I mean, there are trans characters in there that aren't a punchline. There's some stuff in the game that you don't see in other games. Mostly
especially not mobile fucking idle games based on fucking old arcade driving game. Like it's such a crazy use of the license in a way that
it's appropriate.
It is truly fucking Crazy Taxi.
It is a Crazy Taxi.
And it's like a refreshingly weird thing.
That's the thing that's kept me like interested. You know, there's lots of I've never really gotten into clickers. I don't have the drive.
You don't have the compulsion.
Yeah. I don't have the gift.
It's not something
you don't have the shine.
It's not something you get into. It's something that gets into you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something that gets into you when you realize I spend too much time on Twitter. What else could I be doing with this phone that is like hopefully better for me than this? I want to see the rest of the cabbies.
Yeah.
I want to see the rest of the writing. And that's a really crazy thing to say about most any idle game outside of Space Plan.
I was going to say, I had the same thing with Space Plan. Of like, this thing is like kind of charming, and I actually want to see what else it's going to do.
Many AAA games.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's worth fucking looking at.
I should take a look at that
for sure. It's a really and it's such a it's the thing that you look at and go like, man, that is the most fucking naked, just worst use of a license. Like from the outside looking in, you go like, fucking.
Well, of course,
aren't they going to make a clicker?
But also, like Crazy Taxi itself has been so sullied and fucking. You pointed out, I had forgotten about this, but yeah, the last Crazy Taxi game that came to mobile. At some point, I don't know if it launched this way or they reskinned it.
It was later, yeah.
Where they were like, now it's Hulk Hogan's Crazy Taxi, which is about, and they've done a lot of bad with Crazy Taxi over the years, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's a really refreshingly fucking insane thing that they did.
This weekend, I was waiting in the waiting room of pharmacy, and I heard I look over because I hear yeah, and sure enough, somebody's just going away because playing Crazy Taxi Clicker in 2017. Just seeing it happen in the world is mind blowing.
That's maybe the craziest thing of all, that you just fucking encountered someone playing it. It's really neat, and they licensed the song. I wish that it had the announcer and some of the voices from the game or something like that instead of this kind of screenshot dialogue stuff. Because I just like the guys go, we're gonna make some crazy.
Yeah, there's no good voiceover.
I hate that the state of the world is such that I have to question like where that guy is and whether he's still around.
It's true. I don't know.
That was like 20 years ago now.
It was. Yeah, I don't actually know. It's a really strange thing that works way better than you would think, and it goes a lot of places that no games really touch these days.
I should check that out.
It's really fascinating.
That sounds ridiculous.
And
Arms.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can talk about Arms.
I have been playing some Arms.
Yeah.
I think they're going to handle that out of the East Coast, but I have been playing some of it as well. And
I played some more of the Test Punch this weekend.
That we can talk about.
What's the full game?
It's a lot like the Test Punch.
I mean, like, what's the meat of it? Like,
the meat of it is a Grand Prix mode that is like got announcers, and you're kind of going through different fights, but then also some of the other modes show up in that mode. Like volleyball shows up in the main single player mode.
Is there like a story tying the whole thing together?
Not really. No. It's more of the context of like, hey, you're gonna fight in this Grand Prix and win. So the announcer kind of comes on and sets up the events before they happen. So there's like that little bit, but no, there doesn't seem to be.
It's kind of a Mario Kart single player mode.
Yeah,
then.
Are you following one character all the way through?
You pick. Yeah, but I picked Spring Man because he's like he looked like the Ryu of that game.
Yeah.
Yo, that's that Ryu. So
do that shit.
I'm gonna do that shit. And like you can't unlock additional arms until you get 30 coins, and you can't play ranked until you beat that main mode on level 4 or higher.
So you can't just hop into.
So that's the crazy part for me, is that one of the weird things about it is like ranked seems like where you would just get that pure one-on-one experience. Yeah. The party mode that was in the Test Punch just kind of flings you into different things, and some of those are fine, and some of those are less fine, depending on how you feel about like the multi, like the 3-player matches and 2-on-2 and all that other stuff, which I didn't like that much when I played the Test Punch. Yeah, so you have to get like 30 of those coins before it'll even let you get into the arms store to unlock additional arms for your characters. And there's no option screen, so like the controller stuff kind of sticks out a little bit because I've been playing with the standard controls. We talked about this a bit last week, but yeah, it seems like that the motion controls are slightly more capable because you can curve your fists independently, and it seems like you could very easily map that to the dual analog sticks of the standard controls if you wanted to, but they did not do that, and also there is no options screen in that game.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer.
Yeah, so it's yeah, that seems really strange, and I wonder. Like, I really want to see this game come out. Like, I think it's neat. I don't know that it's necessarily for me because like a lot of these kind of behind the back games, my problems with it are the same problems I had with Virtual On.
Yeah,
you know, where it's just like it's not you know, like the combat does not line up for me in a way that I enjoy all that much. But this is fun, and it's. You see the strategy, you know, you see I need to hold back so I can punch this attack out of the air and counter. And, you know, you see that stuff forming up. I wonder if players will gravitate towards it or not. There's not a lot else out on the Switch. So maybe it does well out of that. I feel like the reaction out of the test punch has maybe been a little mixed where people are like, this is awesome when it's one-on-one. And then anything else is way less awesome. So I wonder.
That's kind of where I am. I don't mind the 2-on-2. I think in person that'd be great. Like me and a friend playing 2-on-2 with two strangers. I think that's cool. But yeah, all the other modes they're okay.
Yeah,
but that's not what I want to play.
They haven't really done a great job of really showing, I think, what makes the characters different. Also,
yeah,
in terms of just like, well, this one double jumps, or you know, like what the ability set is on the characters too. You could probably use a little more explanation of that somewhere in there, but it doesn't have it. There's no like, I'm gonna go to the screen and look at this and see what it is, or on the character select screen I'm gonna see this. And
you think on the character select screen would be the place for that?
Yeah. Instead, I think it's like the announcer will say something on one of the screens about like, this guy can do this, and even that's just text at the bottom. That's not spoken.
Felix can get all big or all little.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like. It seems well made for what it is, with the possible exception of those control differences between motion and non-motion. And I wonder if that's something that they'll address at some point. But it seems really weird. But yeah, I want to see it come out and see what people, you know, like when it's out there in the wild, like how and people play it for longer than an hour at a time. If people feel like the motion controls are actually an advantage or not.
Is that out this week?
It's out next week.
15th.
I want to see some high-level arms.
Yeah.
Some Evo action.
Oh, yeah. I want to see some, like, hotel room
there you go.
Arms.
Cash games.
Yeah.
Recorded on someone's iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah. Periscope arms.
Periscope somebody with their Switch in kickstand mode.
Yeah. Right.
The phone up.
Yeah. And then it's just like a mountain of bottles around the Switch. Yeah. That's arms. You know, like we'll do some more with it, and I have not played a ton of it, but that's just kind of like my impressions of the full game.
Yeah. I'm real anxious to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to play any of the test punch stuff, unfortunately, but yeah, seems up my alley.
Cool. Ben.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
You know. How's it going with you?
Good.
Did you play anything?
A lot of Tekken, a lot of Crazy Taxi. I finished my first playthrough of Nier.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna reserve judgment on it until I see some more endings, but I was a little underwhelmed.
Overall, or just with that ending?
Yeah, it's kind of came out of the blue. For me, it just was like, oh, that's the last fight, huh? And then the game ended. I had
they probably need a good way to say like, hey, that's totally not.
Yeah, there is a screen after the credits that says, hey, we just want to let you know. It's like signed from the from the PR team, and it's just like, hey, we want to let you know there's a lot of endings to this game, and maybe you should just play it again. I don't know. But so I got stuck because I saved not knowing it was very close to the end, and I saved in a spot where I, at least to my knowledge, wasn't able to buy any more health regen. And so I was up against a series of fights that culminates with the boss fight with no regen. And I tried patiently going through. I tried going through for about an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to put it on easy just so I can beat this. And next time I'll know to stock up and I can play again on normal or whatever. And the easy mode on that game is probably the easiest easy mode that is ever. There's auto attack, auto dodge, auto fire, auto weapon switch. You just kind of move. And as long as you aren't, like, I was like, okay, how can I damage myself? I was trying to get hit. And you just have to like keep running into the opponent. And like after you do an auto dodge, run back in again and get hit by like the backswing of his attack or something. Kind of wish there was a little level in between there. But sure enough, I beat it and I'm ready to start on another ending.
How long does it take to get to that first ending?
I think I was at like 20 hours.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
But the subsequent playthroughs are not like full playthroughs of the game.
I did about like half of the side quests I could have done, and I'm sure I won't do any of those in my second playthrough or a limited number of them.
Yeah, but I want to say that like, some of the later ones are even just like it puts you on a totally separate path in a way that is not going to even.
Yeah, I've heard
possible to be a 20-hour
third
game.
Ending can take like 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I it's interested me enough to want to see more endings.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Played more Thumper. The game's still very good.
You're gonna go all the way with that?
Yeah, I think so. I can like sometimes I'll close my eyes and hear the like the sound that starts at the start of a level or a boss fight. And
how deep in are you? Did you get pretty far?
I'm on 6.
Okay, that's further than I ever got. Does it start changing up a lot more? Like it seemed like it was kind of like one new mechanic per stage.
Yeah, it's kind of that pace still.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
do you think of the music in it, like the audio end of it?
I think it's fine. It's not so I love rhythm games. I've played a lot. I played through all the Rhythm Heavens. I've played through a lot of rhythm games, and it doesn't have that same feedback of music to action. It has that feedback. It has the like you hear a swoom sound and you know that means
that's
curve right
coming. Yeah,
but it doesn't feel the same as like a rhythm.
It's a looser. It feels like you have a looser connection to the music than in a lot of other rhythm games.
Yes. It's very like industrially kind of
stomp.
Stomp.
Yeah.
Which is it fits the aesthetic of the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it.
Right.
But yeah.
I think that ended up being more of a turnoff for me than I thought it would. It was just like I just didn't necessarily like listening to it that much, and it never clicked for me.
Yeah, it's more of that 1-to-1 for me. It's like when I think of my favorite rhythm level games, I think of like hitting the button along with the music.
Yeah, there's kind of like a synchronicity or whatever.
This cat and dog are going to play badminton while driving an airplane and hit it back and forth.
You get into that flow, right?
Yeah,
it's that feeling of
visuals and
it's
rhythm
more
and
visual
movement. Like everything is all kind of happening in sync.
Yes.
And like I didn't quite get that feel.
Well, some of it is like that. It almost is the difference between are you like playing the music or reacting to it.
Yes.
And Thumper feels like you're reacting to it.
Yeah.
And Rhythm Heaven, even where it's abstracted to the point where you're playing badminton, but you're still hitting on the beat in a way that is very connected to
Thumper is way more based on visual cues for me.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just different.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
I like it. I like it less as a rhythm game and more as an experience of just like I like how hard it is, and I like just kind of throwing myself at it over and over again, and I feel like the music works because it's so frustrating and it's not great, and it's just like mocking.
It kind of puts you on edge a little bit. Yeah,
I definitely like play that by myself in my room. Don't talk to like my partner or anyone. I'm just like I need some Thumper time, and then I'm gonna emerge and be a normal human.
It's Thumper time.
It's always Thumper time somewhere.
Yeah.
Jason.
Yo.
Hello.
Hi.
What's going on?
Not much, man. Yeah, we touched on the stuff that I've been playing.
Yeah,
Tekken.
All Tekken all the time.
Yeah, mostly. Still Dead Cells as well.
Yeah,
just going on runs of that. The game's fucking great.
I'm going to play some non-guns after we did that quick look, and a couple of people wrote in and said, and you even mentioned that, like, hey, there's like way more like weird mechanics in that thing that expose themselves. Like, I kind of want to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds really interesting.
Oh, I did play through the first kind of act of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, yeah?
Just kind of up to where the world really opens up to you.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. I got up to the point where you're about to do your kind of coming of age trial.
Yeah, so
I left off right before that. Is that what you're talking about, or is it way past that?
Yeah, I'm after that. Okay. A little ways after that.
Okay.
And it's
because even that first valley.
Yeah.
Like I like the surrounding area. Like when you stand on a hill and look around, it's like this one valley seems gigantic, and then I looked at the map and it was like a tiny fraction of the overall game.
Yeah, right before you go to do that coming of age thing, your mentor guy kind of like takes you out to the larger world, and he's like, "Hey, you thought this place was crazy? Check this out."
It's a really good moment.
Yeah,
where you get out there and be like, "Hey, you should see that there's some fucked up shit out here," and you're like, "Sure enough, that is a fucked up thing to do, especially with the equipment I have right now."
Yeah. There's a huge fight when he takes you out there, like the first kind of really big enemy you come across in the game, and it fucked me up. It just completely fucked me up, and I was just like, oh, I guess I don't understand how to fight in this game.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool so far. I'm gonna play more of it. I am not always the most patient gamer, so a game that is a lot about setting traps and kind of
hiding
stalking prey,
a lot of stealthy stuff.
You definitely don't have to play the trap way.
Okay.
That's the larger enemies, especially like if you want to get like the great times on the hunting grounds and stuff like that. Like you probably do need to do some more of that stuff. But I am also not a trap type of player,
right.
And I finished that game no problem without really getting into it.
But I just it's very satisfying. Like as soon as you upgrade that option where time slows when you jump, I felt like this was really cool. Just like, the weak spots, so you just run up on a thing and jump off the cliff, and time slows down, and you pull your bow back and hit a dude's gas tank, and he reels back, and then you slide under him and do a bunch of cool stuff.
Sounds all right.
Yeah. That's a super good game.
You pretty much just abuse the stealth kill stuff though constantly, right?
I hid in the bushes and just murdered everything to death. Yeah.
Like, are you like shortchanging yourself if you don't do that?
No, I mean, you can. That's going to be a slow way to kill some stuff. So again, in those hunting grounds where it is timed, like that's not going to work very well there.
Sure.
But yeah, I definitely like had my share of just like, well, I'm going to run here and fuck all this shit up. But I did take some pleasure in like just mounting that big stack of bodies for all these guards, just idiots. Yeah.
Did you get the platinum in that?
No, I did not. It's very attainable. Okay. Very attainable. If you wanted to be about that business, you could do it. But then that would be like, for me, it was actually like doing those hunting trials and just going like,
Okay, so it's a lot of
it's not what I want to do. In
taking items off a list.
It's doing everything. Yeah, pretty much.
I need to get back to that game. Yeah. All right, I guess that's games we've been playing. If you guys want to talk about some news? Look at that, man.
Yeah.
We were just ready to go on that.
Pow. Zap.
Nintendo talked about their online service.
Yeah.
I believe it's called Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay.
That seems to be how they're referring to
the NSO.
In their messaging. $20 a year.
Mm-hmm.
$4 a month. $8 for 3 months.
To do what?
So I believe that covers online play.
To play online. You will not be able to play online for free.
Only once this comes out.
Right. Yeah.
So they're not launching it till next year, which
originally they were saying fall or something.
It was originally this year,
a beta.
Wasn't it?
It was a beta test in summer for the app, and then they would start charging for it.
So that sounds like kind of a soft delay to me.
Maybe.
They're saying 2018 now, but yeah, like online play is just free until next year, at which point they will start charging for it. But it's also got this, which is kind of I don't know.
I mean, online play on Nintendo platforms has been free up until this point.
Yeah.
Not to say it's been like the most fully featured or good thing, but
I just if they were going to do it, it feels like making a clean break on a new platform and just from day one saying that's what they did with PS4, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like you get away with it a little bit better if you tie it to the launch of a new platform.
Yeah.
As opposed to giving it away for a year and then all of a sudden be like, nope, now you have to pay us.
Brad, tell me how I can talk with my friends while playing Nintendo Online.
We'll get to that.
I guess with the feature set of this thing is where it just seems
so
suspect. I don't know. Like, I go back and forth because it was one change to what they had previously announced that makes this sound like maybe it's okay.
Yeah. What's that?
The game access.
Oh, yeah. Well, so there's two more components to this. So the voice chat stuff, is that going to be pay only?
Yeah,
because that's the phone. That stuff's on the phone.
I believe that is tied to the service. Yeah,
they're putting out an app. You can only do like so it's definitely voice chat. Is it also like game invites?
Yeah, game invites and voice chat.
All that stuff
will take place
tied to your smart
phone,
device,
which
is bad.
Yeah.
Can we just say it?
Yeah. Well, yes. Did they come out and say for sure you won't be able to do it on the console itself?
Well, that seems to
be
the
voice
implication.
chat.
Well, they haven't said you can do it on the console.
Yeah, like game invites seems like a thing you could do on your front end.
Yeah. And should
do
on your front end.
But if the system's not capable of voice chat because they just didn't build it that way, then fine. Then offload it to phones.
I don't know that I can even accept that excuse at this point.
Think about it this way. Think about it, and this is a convoluted way of looking at it that lets them off the hook in a way that no one should let them off the hook. But let's think about it as Nintendo has finally understood what everyone else is slow to realize, that voice chat fucking sucks. That it's for assholes.
I like talking to
I don't want to
people.
fucking talk to anybody.
I like talking.
I gotta talk to my Splatoon squad.
Okay, then you know what you do?
You get on Discord.
Use any number of additional services that you definitely don't have to fucking pay for.
Yeah. Right, and
So
I would say,
if you sign up for Discord Nitro, you do get animated GIF avatars.
Oh,
So just putting that.
Actually, come to think of it, does the like the mobile version of Discord support
It totally does.
voice chat?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Then I would totally rather just use that,
Yeah.
where I already have a friends list.
Right. Exactly. But
Except
if they're
it sounds like
tying
you also
game
have to do game invites.
to the paid version, well, if they're tying all online play to the paid version of the service, then whatever. But yeah, I don't want to voice chat with strangers ever again.
Oh, I don't either.
But
But I do want to talk to the people that I know that
there
I play
are
games
specific
with.
games where you do want to communicate with your friends
Yeah.
and Destiny raids and whatnot. Like there are still good reasons to have voice chat in video games.
Totally.
I'm not saying that.
I like yelling at people online sometimes,
But
sometimes. So that's the thing. It's 80% bad, but then it's 20% really, really good.
I just can't. I can't even wear the headset anymore. I just turn it off.
Yeah.
It's just not worth
Yeah.
it. It's not worth the time.
It's
Yeah.
a necessary thing
If
in
you're
a lot of cases.
if we're specifically talking about strangers, I auto mute
Yeah,
everything.
sure.
Like fuck that.
Yeah, me too. Like I can't stand that. But
Yeah.
it's absolutely necessary if you're in a lobby situation in Street Fighter or fucking whatever, man.
Yeah.
There's people you want to talk to.
Oh.
But there's a shitload more that I
But
don't.
there are
want
also and there are a zillion ways to talk to those people or whatever that don't require you to cobble together some
Yeah.
fucking MacGyver solution with your phone and a switch and a bunch of cables and dongles and shit.
Yep.
So
Well, so
not to say that everyone has those, but what?
so
my issue is that they're offloading this to us and then on top of it charging.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's where it's
making you pay for a bad solution that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
So Hori is putting out that weird Splatoon headset
Uh-huh.
thing with a little squid-shaped dongle in the middle
Uh-huh.
that you connect to both your Switch and your phone.
But I would also need to connect that to a
Uh-huh.
3.5 millimeter to Lightning dongle because my phone doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter.
Well, we bought Nightmare phones,
Yeah.
so
They should release a squid with all kinds of different adapters.
There you
go.
Tentacles.
I mean, it's got
different
tentacles.
Yeah.
It just writes itself.
yeah, that's where you just look at it and go like, this doesn't need to
Yeah, none of that stuff is good.
be
At all.
like this.
They should have just let you plug your standard headset mic into the Switch
Right.
and have voice chat and invites
Or
on
like
the Switch,
allow Bluetooth headphones.
like every other fucking video
or
game
yes,
console on the market.
How about Bluetooth? What do you think? Like this standard.
Yeah, Bluetooth also.
That
But like I could even be okay with like just a plug-in headset. Like
Sure.
that's what the other ones do. You know,
Sure.
like they've got that even in the controller. Like
Yeah.
that exists
Yeah.
for years now.
yeah,
They figured it out.
totally
It's a solved problem,
done.
but they unsolved it.
They unsolved it.
They made a new problem for themselves,
They said, "Wouldn't this be
and they're
fun?"
charging you for
I
it.
can't believe Nintendo has made a new problem for themselves again.
Also, like, yeah, by not having a Bluetooth solution when you're docked, then you're now tethered to the
Yeah.
Switch by.
I mean, theoretically,
the
they-
length of your
they
cables.
even could have put a headphone jack in that controller enclosure thing.
Sure.
Put a headphone jack in each Joy-Con.
They could have done. They could have done any number of things to avoid this problem.
They could have made it so you could curve the punches with the right stick. You know,
They could have made friend codes not exist.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that they could have done.
they could have replicated the feature set of the Wii U, which they didn't even do.
Right. Yeah. So the part where I go like, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, because I look at this and go like, well, like I don't play online, like outside of reviewing games. I don't know that I have like ever played a Nintendo game online for any real length of time. Past like a couple of weeks.
I'm typically with you, but they're getting there. Like Splatoon had a durable audience.
Yes, it absolutely did. But
around.
and I got my fill of that and kind of moved on. Like it didn't necessarily stick, but
it did for some people. Like there are now like 2 or 3 years ago I would have been with you, but now like they're inching into the territory where they're making good.
The only
long-lasting
the online
multiplayer
service it's Super Mario Maker for me, and that's a different type of online. But yeah, so I just look at
imagine if you had to download the levels in your phone and couldn't use the console,
and then hold your phone up. I was gonna say hold it up to the camera on the Switch, but they don't. There's no camera on the Switch, so
you have to tap your amiibo to your phone and then your Switch.
Okay,
to carry them over.
All right, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I just look at it in terms of just like I don't think of Nintendo as the company making games I want to play on the internet.
Yeah.
I never have.
Yeah.
They have never positioned themselves that way, and so I look at this and go like, this $20 thing, like I don't think I need that.
But to look at this in the opposite direction, because they have not laid this groundwork, I don't want to do that stuff on there.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's bad at both ends. Like, there's no
like if they had done all this stuff right, then I would be open to the idea of playing multiplayer Nintendo games. But because they haven't, I'm like,
So instead, I'm only open to this idea because of how they're framing the old games.
Yes. So yeah, that is the one big difference between what they had originally announced 6 months ago or something, and this more recent statement is previously they had said it would be like 1 or 2 games a month you would get, classic games like NES and maybe even Super NES games,
and then you would have access to them for that time frame, and then if you wanted to continue playing them, you would have to buy them.
It would basically be sort of a kind of like a PlayStation Plus free game thing, not exactly, but
except the games would go away.
Yes, but similar in that it would be a new game each month, and then
which for games that they're adding multiplayer online support to these games,
right?
So in that sense, it makes sense because then you're like, well, if you have a zillion 8-bit Nintendo games all with online play, you're never going to ever find another person playing any one of them because everyone is spread out across all these games.
Unless you funnel them to the game that's
exactly. So it's almost like this playlist concept in a weird way. So I look at that and go like, I guess maybe that makes a little bit of sense, but
they're not doing
it's
that.
Still bad.
Yeah.
So this thing.
Yeah. So instead, they are now doing more of a Netflix style, just like we're going to have a library and you can just play any of these games as long as you have a subscription.
And for $20 a year, that seems reasonable as long as that service is robust and has a lot of games in it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Throwing that in there sweetens the pot enough with the online stuff that I'm like, $20 a year.
I could see myself paying $20 a year for that thing.
Yeah.
They're going to have like 5 games in there.
So that's
2 of them you're going to want to play.
That's the thing. Right. They announced this thing with 3 games.
Not even 5.
Super Mario 3, Balloon Fight, and Dr. Mario are the games they have announced for this.
Super Mario 3's 2-player support is not necessarily something I would need to play over the internet.
It's got that Mario Bros.
It does. You're right. It does. And it's not nothing.
It's almost nothing.
It's almost nothing. Yeah. Balloon Fight.
Balloon Fight's nothing.
That's Joust, man.
It's worse Joust.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The Balloon Trip music is good enough to where I will put it on an even playing field with Joust.
Fight's pretty legit. That game's all right.
Yeah, but
Joust is fucking
crush eggs and
Joust is fucked up, man. And then what was the third one? Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
Sure, why not?
That's good.
Yeah,
that's got good music too.
It's got some of the best, perhaps the best soundtrack.
I'm bad at Dr. Mario
on the NES.
You want to match the pill colors to the germ colors,
and that's why I always fuck it up. Because you just do that as fast as possible to win, and turns out I want to make lines and do other stuff.
Yeah, no.
That's not how you play that game at all.
Nope. I wonder if they'll launch with any more than those 3.
Nope.
You don't think so?
Nope.
And like they didn't even commit to Super Nintendo stuff.
No, yeah,
I
think they basically said like maybe.
Really?
Wow. Here we go. At launch, the classic game library will include NES games. Super NES games continue to be under consideration, but we have nothing to announce.
We're thinking about it. I don't know
that.
Like, what does that even fucking mean?
Yeah.
Like,
the technology is just not there yet.
Yeah, like that's that's the insane part. Is like you can buy fucking Super Nintendo games on the goddamn 3DS, the new 3DS, I guess. Is it only a new 3DS?
I think that's right. I might be wrong, but that sounds
because old 3DS is not fast enough.
I bought an N64 game for my 3DS.
Which one?
Yeah,
Zelda.
Oh.
That's.
Nintendo.
Also, when you take this into the larger world where, like, there are a zillion roguish ways to play all of these games over the internet,
or like
for $0,
better versions of these games on Steam that exist now, and it's just like, oh, instead of I can play this new updated game with modern sensibility. Like, why would you ever go? Oh, I hate this. I hate the Nintendo thing. I hate Nintendo.
That's not true.
I love Nintendo, which makes me hate Nintendo.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That is a totally understandable and defensible position.
I get that. And then let's see. Kotaku asked them about a virtual console. We have nothing to announce on this topic. Was the response?
I mean, virtual console. I think that name should just be dead.
You think so?
Yeah,
because like it's a weird thing. Like the way people treated it was like it was something other than, hey, we're going to sell digital versions of games.
Do you think it's telling?
Are you bringing the virtual console to the Switch? You're like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
That radical technology that you developed?
Oh, the virtual console. Like it doesn't exist. It's just a fucking brand.
Yeah, no shit, it doesn't exist. It's virtual, Jeff. You can't track it down.
It doesn't even virtually exist.
Those types of labels tend to stick around. Like how long did people keep saying XBLA after XBLA stopped existing?
Fair enough. But it is just a brand, and they're saying they're bringing 8-bit Nintendo games to the platform.
Right.
There you go. That's the virtual console if you want it to be.
Do you think it's telling that they didn't just come out and say like, hey, yeah, this new service replaces that?
Virtual console is over if you want it.
The virtual console lives on in all of our hearts.
I don't know that it's telling one way or the other. I think I look at this as like they have probably not figured out what they want to name their library program.
Yeah,
what their
Game Flicks.
There you go. I like that.
Gamefly. That's not being used.
Yeah, no, that's the fly. That's like a fly. The fly from Super Mario Paint flies in and buzzes around,
and it poops on you and then licks it.
And then you tap the screen, and then when you break what's behind the fly by missing enough, you break, and it's like, whoops, you unlocked Wrecking Crew.
What if they made a new Mario Paint?
What if they made a new Mario Paint?
What if?
Then you'd probably want a better touch screen than that thing has.
What if they put out the old Mario Paint?
What if they put out the old Mario Paint?
I would be okay with that.
What if they did anything with their games?
You know what? 9 frames of animation is all you need.
That's true. There's never been a reason to have more.
Nintendo.
I don't know. Like there's potential in the subscription service to play old games thing. I think that's the right way to try to sell those sorts of products to people these days. I think that in order to like package them up and resell them and stuff like that, I think you need to do like what the Disney collection was or something, or like the Mega Man, that first Mega Man Legacy collection of just
you
like,
mean, just a bunch of goodies.
Yeah, like here's all the stuff around it. Like if Nintendo did that the right way and like pulled all that stuff together and dug up all this artwork and graph paper and interviews and all this other stuff, there could be an amazing classic Mario package.
I fired up Mega Man Legacy collection for the first time a couple weeks ago and spent more time going through discarded art and designs for bosses that didn't get used than I did actually playing the games. I was like, this stuff's kind of amazing. Like, really cool. Holy shit, look at all these Mega Man 2 bosses that didn't make it into the game.
It turns out you just rather would watch a really good Mega Man documentary than play old Mega Man.
Kinda.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I downloaded Mighty Number 9 this weekend.
What?
I kickstarted that game and I
hang on. Did you kickstart it and then never actually download it?
Yes.
Until now?
Oh yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, I mean, it came out and then I saw what people had to say about it and I said, maybe I don't need to download this just yet.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Did you play it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I'll
in 6
report
months,
back.
of it being installed, you check back in, and we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
But I think that what they're doing in that Xbox Game Pass stuff that Microsoft is getting into, like I think that's a really good way for this to work
for sure
at some point. So,
good
first steps.
Yes.
That Game Pass is in beta now, I think.
I think it's like anyone can get. It's been in beta for a bit.
Oh,
and I think anyone can buy into it now.
Yeah, I think I have like a 2-week trial or something like that. So it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I would take that any day over the PlayStation Now.
What games are in that? Yeah.
I can pull up a list.
Because it's EA Access for other stuff.
Yeah,
basically, like the EA Access program is similar.
I want to say
a subscription thing.
I want to say it launched with 100 games.
Not 3 Nintendo games.
Launched with Ice Climber.
I mean, their website says more is better. It's math. I guess that's true.
Well, I mean, shit.
That's actually not math, but I see what they're saying.
Let's see.
Does it say more equals better? Because then that's math.
No, then it's math.
No, it doesn't.
I went to the Scott Steiner fucking math school.
Under featured, they have Halo 5.
Heard of that? Yeah.
NBA 2K16. Payday 2.
Okay.
Saints Row 4 re-elected.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Well, all right. That's more than one game.
That sounds good.
There's a lot of 360 games mixed in here.
Yeah.
Bioshock Infinite.
Do they have Dr. Mario?
XCOM, Batman. Did I see?
Oh, then I can't. Then I don't want to spend
Do
any
any of
money
these
on
songs have Fever or Chill in them?
Probably not.
I think iDarb's on that list. Maybe
Yes,
you could probably use the music editor to like put Fever or Chill in there somewhere.
Actually, iDarb is on this list.
Well, all right.
So it was Roundabout.
Okay.
it. All right.
The Swapper. Master
Mhm.
Chalice.
That's good.
It's an okay lineup.
Yeah.
Not a ton of Super Time Force. Not a ton of heavy hitters, but
Well, it's like the heavy hitters that are there are older, right?
Yeah.
It's, it's kind of meant to be a catalog service for games that are no longer selling at retail. Like they're not going to.
Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Banjo, Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Now there's
Ooh.
a video game.
All the
game.
banjos.
That is a game.
Um,
Yeah, it's a lot of older stuff, it looks like, but like, what's the pricing on this?
is it 10 a month?
10 a month. I think.
10 a
Yeah.
month? That's okay. That's not terrible, I guess.
And hopefully they keep adding.
Yeah.
Like that's like I looked over the
that's
list.
key.
I looked over the list and I was like, this is a decent list of games that I already own, and I don't necessarily need to sign up for this service at this time.
Yeah.
But I think if for people who definitely don't own most of those games because they're not lunatics, that seems like a pretty good price.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. It's cool to.
I've been meaning to download like it's Soul Calibur 2, the HD thing, but it's like $20, and I'm like,
And it's the version that doesn't have a link.
yeah, damn it. But yeah,
Well, maybe Nintendo will have that.
I doubt it.
It's in consideration. I'm not taking anything off the table. Yeah. And the Nintendo thing, like you wonder, like, how much third-party support will that stuff get?
I don't wonder that.
You have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, a bunch of third-party stuff came out on the Virtual Console.
Yeah, that's true. They got the Virtual Console got there. They had a decent catalog.
The pricing I always felt was always a little out
That's
of whack
what was
with that
off.
stuff. But yeah.
Nice to see different companies trying different experiments with like a game library, back catalog type stuff.
I would take either of these, assuming Nintendo's thing builds out appropriately. I would prefer this stuff to the way Sony handles it with PlayStation Now. The stream stuff. Yeah. I would rather just download the game and play it for realsies.
Yes.
Than
totally, yeah.
Jump through all. They're like, hey, really, just get a wired connection and all this. And it's like, I have a wired connection. Like, no, you really use a wired connection. I'm like, I'm using a wired connection. I don't know. PlayStation Now is like,
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
but
like for a streaming service, it's fine. It's just that streaming is never going to be quite as good as playing.
And always like that library to me is like a graveyard of there's some fine stuff on there, but also there's a tier of games on there that are just like the dregs of PSN, PS3 releases.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, man, what the fuck? Also,
I was playing some Third Strike on PlayStation Now, and it was cool, working fairly well, which was impressive.
Yeah. I wish that they would do PS2 and PS1 stuff and like really like lean into the legacy.
It's a good tagline.
Yeah, there you go.
That is really good, actually.
But it's from those interviews that hit yesterday.
Yes.
It sounds like they don't give a shit
Yes.
about any of that.
We will talk about that stuff shortly. But first, let's take another break. We'll be right back.
There are some situations in life that call for you to wear a shirt under a shirt.
Yeah, like what? Name one.
Okay, like if you were going to a wedding and you were gonna get married, and you were wearing like something like a tuxedo or suit or something like that,
you might need some layers.
You might need a layer under that, an undershirt, if you will.
Protective layer of fabric?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I've described to you the last time I wore an undershirt. So let me tell you about the Hanes Fresh IQ Comfort Blend Modal undershirt.
Tell me.
Okay.
Modal?
Modal. It's got a cotton blend modal fabric, and that makes it Hanes' softest ever tee.
Sounds high tech.
Yeah. It says here there's no itchy or annoying tags whatsoever in the shirts.
I don't like the itch, so that's
no,
good.
that
aligns with my interests.
I'm not into itching, to be honest. It's also designed to keep its shape and not shrink in the wash. Which that's,
that happens.
Sometimes shirts shrink, and that's a bummer.
It's not good.
It's a moisture wicking technology, this Fresh IQ technology. Wick that moisture away.
Wick it.
That's right.
Wick it good.
John, wick that out of here in the most gruesome way possible and stay fresh all day. Whether you're on a long flight or a car ride, this undershirt can keep you feeling fresh in even the most uncomfortable situations.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Well, you got to keep it cool. Right now, Hanes is giving away these modal shirts for free with a purchase at Hanes.com.
Free shirts?
That's right. This is the next generation undershirt. So head on over to Hanes.com and get your Hanes on one today. It's hands. I shouldn't. That's get your hands. I pronounced hands wrong.
Get your hands on some Hanes.
Quantities are limited. Hurry, shop now.
Let's see, another Nintendo news. They just had a Pokemon Direct this morning.
Yeah.
Do you guys want a Pokemon on the Switch?
Yeah.
Too bad.
What?
No, they totally
Nope.
announced
Sorry.
a Pokemon game.
Ultra,
Switch.
Ultra Sun and Moon coming exclusively to 3DS.
Yeah, but what about
God damn it, man. You're blowing my reveal.
Oh, shit. Guys, pretend I didn't say that.
Fine.
Jason will fix this.
What
Okay.
is Ultra Sun and Ultra
They're
Moon?
making fucking Pokken Tournament is coming to the Switch.
Yes.
DX.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
the face I made when I heard there wasn't a normal Pokemon game coming to the Switch. It was a DX. It was like,
Yeah.
Sounds like Ultra Sun and Moon is a different storyline and new pocket monsters.
Starters. New pocket monsters. That sounds great.
Yeah, this says new creatures. And
new
and
creatures.
I don't know what alternate storyline
Are these
means.
creatures Pokemon? Like you see them going out of your way to not say like we've got new creatures. Like Digimon are coming to the Pokemon universe finally.
That's all I got for you.
They said it was inevitable.
Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of people seem disappointed about this, but like if it's just a kind of a retread of the thing that like Sun and Moon just came out, right? Like last fall.
It's not
Man, I don't know.
Like that doesn't seem like the thing you debut Pokemon on the Switch with, like a remake, or not even a remake, but just like a remix.
how about any Pokemon game on my
if you're
console?
But that's
Like,
the thing, though. Like,
aren't you
if they took Sun and Moon and like remade the visual, like built it in such a way where it is the same game but with Switch quality visuals, like that's cool.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, I guess.
I'd be so into that.
Well, of course, but like I don't know.
Or Ultra Sun and Moon with its new story and all this other stuff. If they were like, hey, we're starting with it, like you could do that. I think that would work.
Wouldn't you want a Pokemon like made from the ground up for the Switch though?
Yeah, of course.
I'll take anything.
Whatever gets those pocket monsters straight into your veins.
Yes.
I don't. I think it's I spent some time this morning thinking about this, and I guess like at some point, like probably the primary Pokemon audience is still vastly on the 3DS. For as much as the Switch has been selling, like it's kids,
how many
2DS owners, and they got the new 2DS coming out and
The
stuff
new
like
2DS
that.
XL?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the new 2DS XL.
Thank you. I'm a stickler for 3DS names.
Yeah, from Nintendo.
I mean, there are what, like tens of millions of 3DSs out there.
Yeah.
Versus like what, maybe 4 million Switches at this point or
so
something?
I think even if you look at it in terms of like the 3DS is probably naturally on its wind down cycle.
Yeah.
Like there are still going to be games coming to that thing, even if it's not like primary. I think they should just move on, honestly. But all right.
They'll get there. There will be a Pokemon on the Switch.
Think about how late Kirby came to the NES.
Yeah.
The 10-year cycle, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's not the move that I would have expected them to make. I guess
That's Nintendo for you.
that's
They'll keep you guessing.
Constantly defy your expectations.
They'll constantly give you a thing that is not quite the thing that you wish that they would do.
They'll bring you the
But
thing
you'll be like, oh, next time they'll nail this. For
No
sure.
one can ever be truly happy. That's the new. That's
Miyamoto is the
like
only one
they've
who can be
replaced.
truly happy.
They've replaced. Now you're playing with power with this hot new slogan.
Life is but a dream.
Yeah.
You're saying that Pokken Tournament DX on the Switch is not going to make you truly happy?
Fuck that.
Not by a long shot? No, that game was better than I thought it was. Like as I played more of it, I was like, oh, this is actually okay.
Where is that from? Is that a Wii U game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I played that game at Evo last year.
Is that where it came out first?
Yes.
So is DX just a
That's
nice little upgrade version of that?
That game, I don't know why they're re-releasing that game. I feel like that game came out
because no one bought a Wii U.
Yeah.
That game came out, took a very small group of people by storm. It was like pretty cool for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's like entertaining. I played it at Evo. I watched the grand finals for it. I was entertained, and then I never thought about it again. Never was like, oh man, I wish they would do something else with Pokken.
Yeah. This is a really good opportunity for them from a business perspective, because they can look at it and go like, man, people are really hot for the Switch right now.
Yeah.
People are very excited about the Switch and Switch games. Like, it's selling really well. It's selling better than they thought. They're raising their forecast. They're rushing to build more Switches. They're fucking kicking Apple off of production lines to build more Switches. Like, they're fucking going nuts with this thing.
Yeah.
So it gives them this grand opportunity to go like, and we have this library of games that are already done that no one fucking played.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we can figure out a way to build this pipeline to get these games from here to here, and for the people that did play them, we'll throw in 3 new characters and go, haha, it's
I mean,
deluxe, hooray.
Look at how well Mario Kart did.
Yeah, totally. Mario Kart fucking cleaned up.
Yeah.
This is how you get Smash Brothers on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which I still think is going to get announced at E3.
I think so.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But
What else?
who can say?
Trying to think what else from the Wii U would be likely to come over. Like maybe Pikmin 3?
Bayonetta.
I would love to see Bayonetta.
Bayonetta would be good.
Yeah. Have a second shot at finding an actual audience. Like
Star Fox Zero.
There you go.
Maybe not.
Now you're talking.
Wonderful 102.
I think I would like to see a Super Mario Maker
Oh yeah.
make that move for as weird as that would be on the Switch.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see some more Wii U games.
My Wii U is still hooked up. If they put out Mario Maker on the Switch, I would disconnect my Wii U. That would be it. That would be it. Wrap it up. Put it in the box, put it in the bin, put it out in the garage next to the N64 stuff.
Sure.
Next to all these Famicom tapes.
Let it rot.
No, it's preserved in a plastic tub for all time.
Sure.
Let it rot. Where it will rot, but slower than it would if I had just thrown it out there. I can't blame, like, as much as I look at it and go like, man, I don't want to see a bunch of Wii U re-releases coming to the Switch.
I bet a lot of other people do.
I certainly cannot fault them for like making these quick moves, especially if this gets more games on shelves sooner for that Switch audience that is probably like starting to get more and more starved for content.
Dude, I've had a Switch for 3 weeks and I'm desperately craving a Switch game.
Yeah, exactly. So if they can do this to kind of fill out their lineup a little bit, be like, we'll put out Pokken, because that's probably out this year, right?
Yeah, September 22nd.
Yeah, so if they get this out, let's say they maybe
Was that not announced?
No.
Okay.
No, that's new.
Interesting. Because I was thinking about it. It's like it feels like a million years ago.
Yeah.
With the state of the world these days, but that big live streamed like Switch unveil where they were like, "Here's all the games coming out this year," was not that long ago.
Yeah,
was that, like 4 months ago?
Yeah, they went from announced to release super fast on this thing.
So it makes you wonder like what they will have to talk about at E3, considering it's not been that long since they unveiled a ton of Switch games.
Plus, also think about it from the perspective of this is something they're willing to announce ahead of E3.
Right.
So you would hope that means that they have a lot to say at E3.
I don't know.
They're just gonna play Mario for 2 hours.
Or maybe it's all Mario all the time, which I
some people were looking at the Treehouse Live schedule and kind of working backwards and determined that the E3 Direct is going to be about 30 minutes long.
Yeah,
because they said the Treehouse Live starts at about 9:30.
Oh, sure, right.
On Tuesday at the show.
How long was it last year?
I think an hour.
Yeah.
Although like half of that was Pokemon.
Oh,
if you remember how long they played Pokemon on that stream last year.
Exactly. So
they may not have much.
And if they're showing trailers for games and stuff, like they can be efficient and burn through that. Like that's not. Yeah, there you go. Oh God, right. Skyrim.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I'm kind of bracing for Nintendo to not have a lot.
At some point, they will have to bring that Monster Hunter game over, right?
Yeah, they announced it for Japan.
Yeah, that's out in August over there.
But that's the latest 3DS one. It's not a new Monster Hunter.
Yeah, even that's not.
It would be new for us, but
right.
I'm gonna get.
Well, you could buy it out of the Japanese store. I wonder if that thing will launch with an English translation.
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably not. But it's already translated. Like it's out.
Oh, if it's already translated.
Tough to say. Have to say.
No, Mickey Mouse was such a big fan.
Yeah.
Of Monster Hunter, yeah.
I'm the Monster Hunter.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Mickey Mouse is psyched about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
The first.
He's like, I might get a shot. Actually, no, because the fucking roster's been leaked.
Yeah, and when Mickey saw the leak
Jesus
and said,
Christ.
like, Monster Hunter in a game, he was like,
Yep.
ho ho!
That's kind of the sound that I made.
Yeah.
When
The first monster that he would have to fight would be Goofy, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
he's not.
He's an abomination.
Yeah, he's not a dog. He's not a
No,
man.
you murder that thing. You climb
Mickey
all over
needs
it.
to go. Yeah, climb up and then just right through his hat.
Stick a sword right
Straight
in there.
down.
Yeah. Time Magazine or Time.com. You even call it Time Magazine anymore?
They do a magazine.
paper.
I guess there's still a magazine out there. I don't know that this interview. I doubt this interview appeared in print. But
Maybe not.
Time.com did a big interview with Sean Layden and Jim Ryan.
Yeah, like
Sony.
those two made the rounds. Like there are a ton of interviews that hit
was this
yesterday
not just this
with
one?
those guys.
Okay.
Like they have been out there ahead of E3, like really banging the drum. Like, hey, the thing's selling really well.
Yeah. I mean, can't blame them.
We know you're about to hear more about a more powerful console next week.
Yes, of course.
This thing is fucking crushing it. We don't care what they do.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was yes, largely a bunch of just sales statistics and figures and stuff.
It's like a really weird interview to give. Like,
Yeah.
like they made the rounds to talk about, man, this thing's people.
We're making a lot of
people
money.
are buying the fucking PlayStation,
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
we're rich now.
It is going great.
I mean, the numbers are pretty impressive for the most part.
Orchestra twice as big this year. What?
They say they've sold over 1 million PlayStation VRs now.
Mm-hmm.
They said that 1 out of every 5 PS4s that sells is a Pro. Bunch of stuff like that. If you care about a bunch of sales
Which, that
figures.
sounds like that's ahead of where they wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
in terms of pro sales, but
I mean, if I was gonna buy a PS4 right now, why wouldn't I buy a Pro?
Yeah.
Other than price point, like
price point, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's and if you don't have a 4K TV, and like I feel like maybe the messaging around that is still confusing in a way that there are probably some people out there that look at it and go like, well, I don't have a 4K TV, so I definitely shouldn't get a Pro.
As scattershot as the support has been, I feel like I would still recommend it just for the future proofing. Or like there are just enough games that are coming in better.
Yeah.
What's the price jump?
It's supposed to be $100, but
Okay.
like you can find the Pro on some decent deals here and there.
Oh, sure.
But that brings that down.
yeah, like I'm sure during the holiday season, there's gonna be
I bet there will be some good ass Pro bundles this holiday.
yeah.
You would think.
Up against the Scorpio.
Yeah. That would probably be the time for it, I guess. Anyway.
But yeah, it's mostly a bunch of sales data and stuff like that, and they also pay some lip service to the Vita. Weirdly enough,
Well, so they got asked about it,
Yeah,
right? And they
yeah.
were like, "It says great, not here."
Layden says Sony still views the Vita as a viable development platform.
That's nice.
Yeah.
For who? For who?
For Japan,
Yeah.
kind of.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the quote that's getting the most attention though out of this interview is Jim Ryan talking shit about backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I mean, there was a quote in the Vita out there where around the Vita where they were like, "Yeah, it just didn't catch on. We don't know why."
Yeah.
Like, like
Wait, like
do you
the,
want
the
do you want, like-
concept of
yeah.
backwards
No,
compatibility?
the
didn't
Vita
catch on?
specifically.
Okay.
Like talking about the Vita, it's like I just didn't really get a lot of traction. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Weird.
What do you mean you don't know? Look at the games you put out on the Vita. Look at how you supported it. Look at how expensive the memory cards were. Like, do you want to? Like, we could keep going with this list.
Yep.
The only video game I've ever played on my Vita is Nuclear Throne, so I don't have much to say about backwards compatibility there.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Jim Ryan had something to say. And what he said was this. When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it's one of those features that is much requested but not actually used much. That and I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and the PS2 games, they looked ancient, like why would anybody play this?
That's just such a fucking boneheaded, dumb fucking thing
To say about your own product?
Yeah, about your own legacy.
Like no matter how
Like,
old it is.
Hey, these
This
games
looks like garbage.
These games that put us on the fucking map. These
Yeah.
games that helped build
These games
us
that you
up.
have huge nostalgia
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
and sunk hundreds of hours into.
I agree that like polygonal gaming has not aged as well as like 2D art has.
Yeah.
Like let's not be dumb. But
He's not exactly staying on brand here.
and also Gran Turismo is a franchise that they continue to make to this day.
Yeah.
But when you start to fucking envelop like the full libraries of some of those systems, there are a lot of great games that never got remade, that never got put forward, that that you'd go like, man, it'd be really great to have a good, easy way to play those games. It'd be really great if I could truly embrace the legacy of the PlayStation instead of straight up shitting on it in a way that sounds exactly like someone saying that Rumble is so last generation. Like this just looks like someone sat down and said like, well, that's become a key part of Microsoft's story. So, and it's hard for us to do with PS3 games because the cell processor is a nightmare. So,
but the thing is,
let's talk shit about it.
The thing is, Microsoft had the same problem and they solved it. You know, like it's
I would
different.
think that the cell would be a little trickier, but I guess I don't know for sure.
I mean,
but also like he's not wrong that it is not something that sees a ton of use. Kyle Orland just launched an exhaustive data story. It's just like pulling all these Xbox Live accounts and looking at what they're playing and all this other stuff, like months and months of data. And it's not 100% representative of everything, but like it doesn't look like that there are Xbox accounts playing a lot of old games very often. At the same time, Black Ops 2 re-entered the NPD charts in April.
Wow.
Because it was made backwards compatible. So there are flashpoints like that where that stuff can and does matter. It's a weird thing, but like more like to be out there to like that is just a embarrassing thing for them to say. That really does just sound like them going like, well, this is not on our roadmap, so make sure you find a way to talk shit about it because the other guys are doing it, and we think it's it is literally. It is literally this year's fucking Rumble is Rumble. Who cares about that? That's old shit. Like it is 100% that. Like
so you're saying in 18 months to 2 years they're totally going to do backwards compatibility?
As soon as they can figure it out in a way that doesn't cost them a ton of money, that they can do. Yeah, of course they would do it if they could. Like why wouldn't you? If it was easy to do, it would have been done already. But whatever. Just stupid. It'd be really great to be able to play PS1 and PS2 games more easily than it is right now.
I would love to just be able to throw a disc in there.
As someone who didn't own a PS1 or a PS2, I would love that.
And they're happy to try to sell you some of these PS2 games. Also, by the way, while they're going like, like, oh, buy Dark Cloud, but also don't put in the disc you already own. Like, gross.
I think that's more or less the big stuff out of this interview.
Yeah, like I said, it was weird. It seemed like some embargo hit or something, and all of a sudden, all these mainstream news outlets, had this interview. Like
he does mention also that he'll be in the press conference for about 90 seconds.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Need for Speed Payback is the name of the new Need for Speed game. They kind of fully announced that, put out a trailer.
I just realized when they announced that game's name that you could probably interchange WWE pay-per-view names and Need for Speed subtitles almost.
What else?
Backlash.
Backlash.
Hell in a Cell.
Like they're Well, you could do it. You could do it.
You could figure it out.
Need for Speed Royal Rumble's not bad.
Yeah. Need for Speed Great Balls of Fire.
I mean, what are some other Need for Speed?
Need for Speed No Way Out.
Captions.
How about WWE Underground?
Yeah.
WWE Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
WWE Most Wanted.
Yeah. These are all the
stuff writes itself.
Yeah. Like WWE literally had a fucking show called Fastlane.
Yep.
It was WWE Fastlane was the name of the pay-per-view, and they're just like, I don't know, it's got cars and the graphics. Like, what? All right, sure.
Yeah.
So,
that works.
That just lines up.
I have never seen a Fast and Furious movie, and even I, watching this trailer, immediately thought, like, that looks sort of like Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to, have a story-based thing with multiple protagonists.
Yeah, I was going to say ensemble-looking cast, but I don't know if there's quite enough.
I think it's 3.
It's only 3 characters.
Do they ever tie a safe to the back of their car and whip it around downtown Rio de Janeiro?
Let's hope.
But it definitely had that, like, sort of high-stakes, like, heist crew sort of vibe to it.
Yeah. And a revenge tale from the sounds of the trailer and the name.
Yes. I guess the last one was sort of like tuner culture, just like attitude, street attitude, right?
And there were like different disciplines to get into. So it was just like you would go hang out with this crew and do crimes and, you know, the other crew would be like, let's race good in a pack. And you're like, that's not fun. Let's do more crimes.
No FMV in that trailer, right? It's all like
I didn't see any,
CG people and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So guessing no actors in this.
I'm curious to see if this is open world or not.
I bet it is.
I bet it is, just because it seems like everything is, even when it isn't. But
Well, Jeff, I've got good news for you.
all right.
You can pause and
what?
save and go offline.
What? But I live online. Look at me. I am online.
You're online right now.
I'm online
Look
right
at those
now.
cameras.
What?
Those cameras are online.
Online to what? Fuck.
Everything is online all the time.
You're double online because you're online here and here.
Oh man, just getting it.
My
Coming-
phone in
coming
my
and
pocket
going.
keeps buzzing over here. But is that because it's online?
Yeah.
It is.
Get this thing out of here.
Throw it in the trash. Yeah, not much to see there, but at least we know what the name is now.
Yeah. It's
kind of what sort of tone they're going for.
I want to see what that game looks like.
Yeah.
I don't. I will always want to know more about the new Need for Speed game for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, that game, that franchise has been up and down, and more down than up lately, I think. But I will be happy to hear their pitch. I hope that turns out.
I feel like Hot Pursuit was the last one that like really kinda did it for most people.
Yeah,
Like Most Wanted was okay, but
Hot Pursuit like dragged in people that had not played a Need for Speed
Yeah,
game in a
I'm
long
definitely
time.
a fair
Like
weather
game,
Need for Speed.
that was me.
Yeah,
Same.
Like I remember
Hopper.
like playing that game with like Gary Whitta and just like people you were like, oh, you're into like absolutely like that game was just a great multiplayer game.
Yes.
Yep.
And
My dad played a lot of that game.
yeah,
He doesn't like games.
Where was the run and all that? Was that after?
the run was before that.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the run was
Yes.
maybe a couple years before that.
Okay.
The run was like the first truly bad one. They were on a pretty good run.
Yeah.
Where they had Need for Speed Most Wanted and then Carbon and whatever.
Right.
And then the run was the game that came out where they were like, we got a story.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but it's terrible.
Yeah.
And it had actual literal out of the car like running fucking
Right.
QuickTime events
Yeah.
that were rotten.
Yeah.
I remember after that game came out, someone at EA going like, hey, after we reviewed it, they're like, would you like to have a conversation with us about the run? I was like, oh, I'll talk to you about the run all day long. So they knew.
Yeah.
I want to say the run was the last black box game.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, I think so.
At some point, Criterion wrested control of that franchise away.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Hot Pursuit was the first Criterion Need for Speed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's right.
And then maybe the run came after that because I feel like they were switching back and forth. It was black box and Criterion switching years.
Okay.
And
like
then
Call of Duty style.
And then at some point, like I think black box had a couple of games that were rough around the edges to the point where Criterion was able to say like, how about we run this now?
Sure.
And then now there's no Criterion anymore.
Black Box is kind of a weird name for a studio if you think about it. Just kind of the implication there that when everything else goes to shit, we'll still be here.
That's right.
And sounds like it didn't really go that way.
guess not.
Oh, okay. The run was in between Hot Pursuit and Most
Okay.
Wanted.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
Yes. And then, yeah, Black Box didn't do another one after that.
Yeah. Which is a shame because that was the skate studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then those people kind of drifted into, was it the Plants vs. Zombie shooter?
Yes.
And some other stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is a whole thing.
Yes. The only thing I have left on the news docket is Take-Two Interactive bought the Kerbal Space Program people.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What? Also, that developer was called Squad.
Squad.
Learn something new every day. I don't know. That seems like a real weird match, but
Does that mean that like the people working on Kerbal get to like
actually get paid.
leave the office and make money and like
Receive a paycheck now.
Yeah. How's that gonna go?
Such a bummer to find out about that stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a weird thing. I don't know what that even means. So why would you like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because didn't Kerbal already come out on like console? Wasn't there like a bad early
Yes.
access kind of like a
I think so.
game preview version of Kerbal?
I'm pretty sure that it did. Pretty sure there was a console release.
I never made it to the moon.
And you never will. Like I hate to break your heart like that, but that's just how it's gonna be. It's how it's gonna go.
Yeah. I mean,
Unless Take-Two then makes a like console friendly version of it where it's suddenly super easy to get to the moon. I don't know.
no, I want to earn it.
You want to earn the moon? All right.
Yes, it did come out on consoles.
Yeah.
And in fact, Take-Two is saying they will help keep the console versions up to date alongside the PC version.
Okay. I heard some pretty rotten things about those console versions from a couple. After this happened, some people wrote in and were like, "Yo, this PS4 is fucked up,
not so good."
So
I wonder what the long-term play there is. Just that seems like such a weird fit for Take-Two.
Maybe the price was right, and maybe it's still selling well enough. Maybe the people that were behind it couldn't run the business well enough.
Maybe
and had to find someone, or
like
maybe they have another project that looks awesome.
That was my other thought. Was like maybe their next thing that has not been announced was super appealing, and Take-Two swooped in and got it.
Or just Take-Two branching out. I don't know. They can't.
Yeah, maybe.
Just can't just be basketball and wrestling forever.
Indeed. All right, let's move on to the emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
I take back what I said. It can be basketball and wrestling forever.
What if they combine the two? Slam
Then
ball.
you get, oh man, okay. Then you get the idea.
Why is there never a slam ball game?
THQ was working on one.
No way.
Yeah, there was a time there where I was told in some amount of confidence at the time, it was like, yeah, we're pretty close to getting the slam ball license.
Fuck. It's not too late.
What is slam ball?
Oh, man.
Slam ball is basketball, but there are fucking trampolines embedded in the court.
Yeah.
And so
it's also full contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like full contact in the fucking air.
Okay.
And not like, people weren't spearing people out of the air. It's not as dramatic.
Sure, but it takes a lot to get a foul.
Are there rules around the use of the trampoline? Like you have to be in the air to shoot or something like that?
Or no, it's like you couldn't necessarily bounce on multiple trampolines, more than 2 or something in the key, or I forget what it was.
Yeah, you had a limited number of bounces.
But there were a lot of rules.
Wow.
And it was on Spike TV, and it was fucking outstanding.
Man, that sounds really
There's
good.
also the names of slam ball teams were phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of them.
Violators or something. I don't know. At some point, it's just, I'm going to sound like I'm naming roller games.
I think like
too.
4 of the teams were based out of Vegas. 4 like the 9 teams.
Well, they
or
all,
something.
just kind of, I think were really actually just in the LA area.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Hombres,
the hombres,
the
sure.
maulers,
Maulers.
the slashers,
Yeah.
the mob,
Yeah. The mob
and the bulls.
I remember the mob being good. There was a dude on the mob that was pretty good, if I remember. There were like 3 players that were really fucking good at playing slam ball, including the guy who invented slam ball, who was on one of the fucking teams.
That's pretty good.
And the rest of the people that played slam ball were way less good at it.
Yeah. They were just like okay basketball players who like couldn't crack it in the NBA.
I guess,
Did anybody dunk?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was the whole point. The whole point was you hit that trampoline and did NBA Jam shit.
Seems kind of cheap though. If anybody can dunk off a trampoline.
Exactly. That's why it looks so fucking cool.
But that's the thing where fouls being harder comes in because you can totally just get up in someone's face who's trying to dunk and
Sure.
mess them up.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And they kept playing it after they lost their TV deal. Like there was a push. I want to say
still
like
going.
relative. It might still be going.
I think
yeah.
it's still going. Last
Like
time I
relatively recently, there was a push to be like, "Hey, we're going to try to get back on TV," and I was like, "Yes."
They still have a website up. So
Yeah,
they're doing something.
That's slam ball's good.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of Dennis Rodman wrestling in WCW. Karl Malone as well.
All right, Neil from Arlington, Virginia. That's a question about E3.
We're here. We're ready to answer.
Yes,
It stands for Electronic 3.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Finally. Wondered that for years. I was just wondering your thoughts on this year's scheduling for E3 conferences and how it might impact your streams. Now, EA will be streaming on Saturday instead of Sunday, and Microsoft is moving to Sunday instead of Monday. So do you prefer having them all broken up instead of being on one day? Or did you like the 10 hours of press conference binge on Mondays? Also, do you think we might end up with a Black Friday scenario where everyone starts fighting to see who can go first?
Yeah.
We kind of already are.
So much.
I cannot imagine it going earlier than Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be complete fucking insanity.
I would like to know. So the press conference time slots were at one point kind of governed by the ESA,
right?
And they were like, okay, you can take this slot, you go here, you go here. And I wonder, I don't know if all these press conferences that we're getting earlier and earlier, if those are still
I don't think they are
part of that, or if EA is like, we're going to run our own thing.
Yeah. I think
in Hollywood. Fuck off.
I don't know for a fact, but I have always assumed that, like Bethesda and now EA are circumventing that by just doing it off-site.
Yeah.
Because nobody can stop them.
No, exactly. No, you can put on an event. We could put on an event. We could put on a press conference out here right now if you want.
We can have our own press conference.
Yeah.
Got 18 games to announce.
Like Devolver announced and canceled and re-announced and canceled the press conference this year.
I think it's back. I think it's back on.
I think it's back on
as of right now.
Like it's streaming on Twitch,
but it's part of like some Twitch presentation now.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
I don't know.
They've always had a good presentation.
Part of TwitchCon.
The past few years.
I don't know.
I totally forgot the question.
Oh, he was basically just asking if we preferred that just like marathon of like 5 billion press conferences in one day.
I'll tell you from like a business perspective, it is more expensive for us to do this now because
like
we
imagine how many extra hotel nights of hotel rooms people are having to pay for,
and like and also that we have to have our room that we're streaming out of set up. That's one more day of internet in this expensive ass hotel where the internet does not come cheap, and so the extra expense to us is not insignificant
for one press conference.
Yeah, so it's the sort of thing we start to think like, oh, could we do that up here and then head down at some point? But then
the setup time
the setup time is such that that's hard, and also there are a lot of events around those press conferences that we're going to go actually play video games.
Yeah.
So it behooves us to be down there, and I think I prefer the long day of stuff just because it's this fun endurance challenge.
As a consumer, like, this will be my first E3 in the industry, but as a consumer, I definitely preferred just like being like, oh my God, it's back to back to back.
It was just like a
exciting announcement.
Order
After
a pizza, such a
like
don't get dressed.
It was like such an embarrassment of riches. It was just this binge.
You have like 2 hours to like talk about how excited you were about what was announced.
It's like 12 straight hours of excitement because the announcements just never stop.
Yeah.
The hell of a drain, though. Like at the end of the day, man, I could not remember what the fuck happened at Xbox earlier that morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was always like even crazier when you were actually physically going to all those events.
Yeah. Those production things, those were strenuous days.
Those are killers.
Wow. Driving from one thing to the other, or take it back even further, like running tapes from one thing to the next and all that other stuff.
I remember that year you guys got like fucking buses and or like a car going to the next events. I had to like run.
I don't know. I could see the trade off. It'll be interesting to see what it's like having them so spread out.
Yeah,
because there's only the heaviest day is only what 3.
The heaviest day is
2, I think.
Yeah, because Microsoft and Bethesda are same day, and then Sony and Ubisoft are same day, right?
So there's never more than 2 press conferences a day.
Yeah,
that sounds super light.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Yeah,
I could do that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something about just like that fucking just constant.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chris from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Do you think Square Enix sets their sales expectations astronomically high for Crystal Dynamics and IO because they want their games to pick up the slack for all the money they blow on long projects like Kingdom Hearts 3? Crystal Dynamics and IO put out stuff consistently under pressure from Square, despite Square themselves announcing stuff a decade before releasing anything.
Right. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah. That's
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Took literally a decade.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
But also that might just be the reality of it, of like, because of the way they run their business, those games have to hit those targets. Otherwise, they don't have the money to continue. Like,
we make some assumptions about their expectations, but you have to assume at least some fraction of what they really want is laid forward in their plans. Like I have to assume they were at least a little bit upfront about, here are some numbers we need you to hit.
Right. Yeah. And that's because we only really heard about this stuff in the context of that first Tomb Raider reboot coming out and them saying that was a disappointment.
I went back and looked at that recently. Like, that game sold over 3 million in like the first month.
Right.
And all they had to say about it was that it failed to meet its targets.
Right. So I think that's probably a pretty unreasonable expectation for that stuff.
Yeah.
But that might just be the reality of their business, That's not to say that they're running it well or not. I don't know, but
or soon to be someone else's business in the case of IO.
Sure, yeah. I wonder if at some point they do the same to Crystal.
Aren't they the ones doing? Oh God, aren't they the ones doing that Marvel deal? Isn't Crystal Dynamics?
Oh right,
handling the development for that Marvel game that they're doing.
That probably, but at some point after that or some point down the line. If they then fall at the feet of Final Fantasy delays and all this other stuff, like I imagine whatever the fuck is happening with Final Fantasy 7 probably directly impacts something like IO.
Yes,
where it's just like, oh, part of this is we wish it sold more, but also turns out we were wrong about this other thing.
Yeah, we've got to get a whole new studio working on this.
Oh gosh, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are working on that Avengers game.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So.
That's yeah.
Of course, you're doing it somewhat with somebody else's money. It's a lot easier to commit those resources.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway.
But then who knows what the sales target is for that? And if that's realistic or not, or if they'll blame that, like, it's hard to know. I don't know. Like it's very easy to want to like just unload on Square and say that they're bad at this, but we don't know enough.
Yeah, we can only
We
speculate.
don't know how they're bad at it.
It's very tempting it's extremely tempting, but I don't actually know.
Some Scorpio questions rolling in as they have.
It's me, I'm Scorpio.
Yep.
Oh shit!
He's here.
Ask away.
Where are you from? You got a unique accent.
Tanzania.
Oh, do you know the Tasmanian devil?
Yeah.
Are you friends?
He's me mate.
I don't have any more questions for you.
All right, thanks.
They have been out there teasing the shit out of that thing.
Pop open a tall can, a thick can
of
Foster's.
Oh,
With who?
Of course.
With me mates at the Outback Steakhouse.
Popping open a tall can with me mates. I
Yeah.
love that meme.
Yeah. Put another tall can on the mouth, mate.
That's where it goes.
Thanks for joining us, Scorpio.
Yeah, no problem.
Troy in Colorado.
I murdered a man.
You shouldn't.
Only just one.
You know this goes out to like a lot of people, right?
What do you mean?
What you're talking into a mic?
Kind of expected more.
Come and find me. Come and find me at E3.
He's probably
mate.
in Tanzania.
I'll take you all on.
Troy in
E3
Colorado.
in Tanzania.
Yes.
Next year.
Okay, all right.
Not sure if you guys saw the Scorpio dev kit video put out by Xbox on YouTube, but something stood out to me. They seemed to all but confirm that the Scorpio will indeed have an HDMI input again. I thought they had confirmed that.
I feel like they...
I thought that they had... Anyway, let's assume that's happening. Does this seem like the right move? I assume they were trying to abandon any thoughts of the original Xbox One. It seems like nobody really uses that function anymore, especially now with people cutting cable more and more.
I think it depends on how expensive it is to include that component in the device. At some point,
like probably like 50 cents per, $1
if
per. I don't know. Who
they're
knows?
already paying an HDMI licensing fee by having the output port. So at some point, putting that thing in there and just it might even be easier from a software perspective to just support everything feature for feature instead of having to go like, oh, on this one we need to account for there being no port. Yeah. Or maybe maybe it'd be nice if they got the latency on that thing down really low. And then you could plug like another game console into that thing and save an input there. That'd be neat because there's enough of a delay on it right now to where you can't play the video games. Yeah. Or maybe they're like, hey, plug an Apple TV into this thing. Yeah. Like maybe they'll update the software to better support other set-top boxes or something. Or
put my Chromecast in an Xbox.
I did that. But I plugged a Chromecast into an Xbox and plugged the USB into the Xbox as well for power.
All right.
And you could do it.
Huh.
Right.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
They've got their own like ecosystem of apps and shit though. I don't know if that's what they're
they probably aren't necessarily thinking like, let's support all these other set-top boxes that
I
also watch Amazon videos.
But I think you're right. It's just it probably from like a software support function. They don't want to cut anything out.
Yeah, it's probably easier to
do the
seamlessly
one-to-one
seamlessly transition to
if
the same
if
feature
it's super
set.
cheap and lets them then just kind of say like, this box does it all. It does everything this system does and more, as opposed to like having to put a little asterisk next to it and just going like, except for the plug in the cable box thing, because let's face it, it's 2017.
It would look really weird to have like your upgraded model, but like it's missing features from the basic model like that. Yeah. That would just look strange.
Even if it'd be totally understandable in this case. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I would have thought they would have cut it out of the S. I was surprised to see it on the S
Yeah.
when that thing came on.
Especially once they like started, they canceled the DVR feature and stuff like that. Like it seemed like they were actively moving away from that stuff.
Yeah.
They should still put that thing out. I would totally use it. Let's see here. Niall?
Okay.
Neil. It's that weird like
Nail.
Irish Niall.
Niles.
Some people have told me that that's still pronounced Neil.
All right.
Not sure. Over the past year, various Xbox executives have mentioned that the console is going to be premium priced, and if a recent poll on Mr. Jeff Keighley's Twitter account is anything to go by, people expect the system to cost $499. My question is a simple one. Do you believe Microsoft will fully reveal Project Scorpio and not sell a version of it for $399? That seems like the price they have to hit, right? I don't know.
How much the PS Pro
Yeah, PS4 Pro is $399. But the way they've been out there since the last E3 talking it up like it was, they've never been shy.
Man.
Yeah,
They've never been shy about saying that thing was going to be a premium product.
Right. And maybe they end up having multiple SKUs based on hard drive size.
Maybe.
But I think that's even that's a little weird for something that they're putting out alongside the existing Xbox One. And
I honestly would be equally surprised if it was $399 or like $599. From the way, I mean, they're talking a lot of shit about how this is going to replace your computer and just like
it's just like kind of reading between the lines of all the language they've been using. Like they keep hitting that like most powerful console ever built messaging.
Right.
Like all the ways they keep referring to that thing, make it sound like it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah,
but I see where this guy is coming from because $499 is the price that sunk them the first time.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was arguably a lot more than just the price.
Certainly didn't help though.
But yeah,
I think that they probably match the Pro.
Really?
They're so far behind now. Like there's a lot of ground that they need to make up.
If you think about it, like this is them. I look at the Scorpio launch, and we talked to Phil Spencer last year at E3, and when they kind of rolled out some of this strategy. And if you remember, it was Scorpio, but it was also the Xbox Anywhere, like play our games on PC, which that stuff's been rough in spots. Obviously, like the Windows Store not up to the task in some cases, but when it works, and it works pretty well on PC. And so I think if you look at their whole story and what they're trying to do, it becomes less about the Xbox as a device, and it becomes the Xbox as a ecosystem and brand. And I think that the Scorpio has to kind of fit in alongside the Pro, because if you look at it, it's them retelling their entire story, trying to undo all the lingering sins of the first launch.
Yeah,
and they've got a lot of ground to make up. All these interviews with Layden out there talking about their sales stuff. Yeah. If that's ground they care about making up,
they got to dig
then
deep.
At some point they dig extra deep.
Yeah.
They go up the chain at Microsoft and go like, all right, we are getting our asses handed to us. If you really want us to do this, I need you to let me build this box and then sell it for $349.
Especially when
$349?
Like let me like they need to make that case go. Let me undercut Sony and fucking say we've got the most powerful fucking box on the planet for less expensive than this thing. Put Sony in a position where they have to react and cut the price on the Pro, which they definitely don't want to fucking do.
Right. I mean, we were talking about how we're probably going to find a good bundle this holiday season for the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
So if you factor that in even further, the higher price point is harder to sell.
If this is it, and we don't know if they can afford it, if they can afford but that is like the turn up the heat fucking let's do this move.
That sounds like gloves are off, like we're selling this thing at a loss territory.
Yeah, exactly. That is like let's get this back. Like that is we were on top of the world through the whole 360 era, at least in North America.
I switched from 360 to PS4. Like I don't have an Xbox One because I have no desire for one. I have no need for one.
The thing that is more powerful and cheaper is a pretty easy decision to make.
Yes.
But it's also, they're in this weird territory where you might also, depending on what you have, you might not need a Scorpio because you might just be able to play all of the games that you think of as Xbox exclusives on a PC.
Yeah.
And so that's where it gets into this more interesting kind of post-console strategy of like, hey, we've got these boxes for you. If you need this stuff, we've got them. But if you aren't into that, we've got this other option for you over here on the PC.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a tantalizing strategy in a way where it's like, yeah, okay, like I just want to fucking play games. I already invested in the PC, so that's kind of cool. And it relegates the PS4 to like, I only play exclusive games on that device, or games that I play online with my friends or whatever, because they only have PlayStation 4s or whatever. Yeah. And it really kind of makes the PC more attractive in some ways too, because those kind of top tier marquee exclusive games come over there. Well, it's top tier. Maybe it's a different thing now, but Forza's still good. Maybe Crackdown will be great.
I hope so.
If they ever get back around to that. So I think that they're just in a super interesting place right now, and it's hard to know which direction they go in. Like if they can afford it, I would think that they would want to like literally fucking undercut Sony.
Yeah.
on the pro pricing.
Or at least match.
Yeah, or at least match, and just fucking say, all right, let's fucking do this. We're going to fix all these problems. Let's fucking knuckle up, and we'll lose a little money on the front end, and hopefully it'll all work out in the end. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I would like to see them do that. I think that's the most interesting move that I think helps their brand out. Also, yeah, they might not be able to afford to lose all that money on the console sales, so they might have to go over.
Yeah.
But there is something about this rope-a-dope idea of talking about how expensive this console is, and then coming out and saying like, look, we did it for you. We did it for you. We did it for the players. Power to the players, or whatever the fuckers. Jump in. I don't know. Now you're playing with Xbox. And you'll get a free year of Xbox Game Pass, instant game library, or whatever. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
We've got more than 3 NES games.
Yeah.
I got to hear about some exclusives though. Still, like, even if
totally.
things powerful as hell, it's beautiful, whatever.
They need games. They need games bad.
They do.
I think they're at a point now where it's like, what do they have on the books? Phantom Dust came out. Not that was ever going to be like a big thing, one or the other, but Crackdown. Which what?
Phantom Dust 2.
Oh, Phantom Dust 2. Sure, why not? Yeah. Voodoo Vince came out, so that's Blinks 3. Maybe we get it.
I'm trying to think.
Like, what is it? What is it now? Because Scalebound got canceled. Right. Crackdown 3 has been
Crackdown 3
fucking
for like 2
MIA
years.
for years.
2 years? 3 years? God,
Something like
I
that.
think it's been 3 years.
I think
they announced that game 3 years ago.
Yeah, you have to assume that Forza is out this year.
Yeah.
And I have to assume that is like a big showpiece game. Like, car games still work well at showing off a console's power.
Yes.
The same way colored lighting once did.
Hey, what about a new
PC.
Gears of War?
I don't know that this is the right time. I think.
Oh no, they just launched one.
Yeah, it's too early to say.
Yeah, but how about another?
How about another?
I mean, I don't think it's even time for
Gears
Halo
of War
yet.
4:2.
I wouldn't even expect Halo 6.
I think 343 got out there and said that they are not showing anything huge at the show, but they might have a little something.
Yeah. I bet, I could see like a CG teaser or something.
Or maybe it's like a collection of ODST and Reach and whatever.
Wars 2.
Yeah, Halo Wars 3. Bringing it in-house.
God, what else do they have announced? I can't think of anything. Sea of Thieves.
Right. Yeah, they've got a handful of other things, but like they need some big guns out there coming out, especially if they've got a console to launch.
You know what game has really big guns?
Which
Gears of War.
Gears of War. Those guns are
pretty big.
Those guns are pretty big.
They got fucking chainsaws on.
Chunky,
huge.
The guns are chunky.
Yeah,
but they need bigger guns.
Yes. A new Gears of War is not. Does not do it in the way it used to.
Yeah, maybe they need something new, coupled with Forza, coupled with a
if only they had a brand new studio working on a brand new IP that they could.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right? Yeah. But also maybe they do.
Yeah, maybe.
They just need their knack, They need their new IP that takes everyone by storm.
Exactly.
Character platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
Blinks 3. Let's go.
Blinks 3D.
The time has come.
Okay. Blinks VR. Yeah.
It's time to sweep again.
If you think about it, like they've got like the most to say at E3, right? Because they've got, they've come out and said Scorpio will do VR stuff, so they have to explain what the fuck that means in terms of like, are they shipping their own headset? What does it work with?
Do you think they just open their press conference with like the full fucking info dump on the Scorpio and go from there?
I guess so.
Like you have to, right?
I guess. Yeah.
You can't show games without addressing that thing first, right?
Yes.
Like it has to be.
Or, I mean, they open with Forza footage and go, that was running on the Xbox.
What I mean is they can't save Scorpio for the end of the press conference, right? Like it has to be like
they can save the price for that.
Right, but it has to be the focus of that entire show.
Unless they want to like throw some bone to existing owners and say like, all of these games are rendered on a real regular ass Xbox One S.
Yeah.
And then if they look really good, people go like, oh shit. And then you go, and now it's what it looks like on Scorpio. And they fucking go bananas.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that's part of why it's really interesting.
Yeah, we'll know in 5 days, which is fucking crazy to think about.
Because I think that they've got the potential, at least, to fucking do some really wild shit around that thing. It's the closest they will get at a chance to fix the things that the previous regime did to that console.
Yes, indeed.
This is their shot.
There has been regime change.
At
Microsoft.
This is their shot to fix all that bullshit.
Yes, indeed.
Once and for all. So,
okay.
They've been doing good work for the past couple of years. Kind of.
Yes, they are
really rooting for them.
They are making a good, solid effort to right the ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to take one final break. We will be right back in just a minute.
It's time to make a choice.
What's that?
A choice about shaving.
Oh?
Do you want to be the sort of person that leaves your house to go purchase razors and razor-related paraphernalia?
I don't want to leave my house for anything.
Exactly.
So by default, no.
Well, then there you go. It's time to make the razors come to you. Make them do the dance.
Oh, man.
So you don't have to.
Dancing razors?
Dancing razors.
Sounds dangerous.
To your door from your friends at the Dollar Shave Club.
Oh, cool.
It's the smarter choice. Get a great shave at a great price, and it's conveniently delivered right to your door.
What could be more convenient than that?
That's right. Open your door. Whoops, razors.
You know, what if they walked it through the door?
I mean, I don't want anyone
Like directly to the bathroom.
part of the whole not leaving the house, like there's a corollary to that for me, which is I don't want anyone in there with me.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Otherwise, the inside starts to look a whole lot like the outside.
Let's meet in the middle.
That's right.
Which happens to be located at the front door.
That's right. Right at the front door.
Okay.
They drop these razors off and some of these other products, and then you take them into your home and use them.
I shave.
You shave with the Dollar Shave Club Executive Razor. Or how about with Dr. Carver's Shave Butter?
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Everyone loves Dr. Carver. The blade just gently glides across your skin with that shave butter. It's transparent for a more precise shave. Precision is important.
It is.
Yeah.
Close.
It can help prevent ingrown hairs and fight razor bumps. Ugh. Yeah. Make the smarter choice. Join the Dollar Shave Club today. For a limited time, new members can get their first month of the Executive Razor and a tube
Of?
Dr. Carver's Shave Butter. Nice. It's only $5 with free shipping. After that, the razors are just a few bucks a month. That's a $15 value for only $5.
That's a savings.
That is a savings.
Of $10.
Of $10.
Yeah.
You can use that $10 to reinforce your front door. Keep the wildness out.
Yeah.
In that first month box, you'll get that handle, you'll get a full cassette of 4 cartridges, and again, I cannot stress this enough.
Yes?
A tube of shave butter.
Finally. I've been waiting my whole life.
That's right. There are no hidden fees, no commitments. Cancel anytime you like. You can get this offer exclusively at dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast. That's dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast.
All right, let's get into some of those good emails.
Oh,
Yeah.
finally.
Unlike those other ones.
Those
Jeez.
others. Neil, fuck you.
Whoa.
Hey.
Don't say that about Niall.
Here are...
Come back with better emails next time.
That was a good
Or we'll pronounce your name wrong again.
That was a good. He's in one direction.
Here's some emails that truly matter. Lewis, did you know that the voice actor that did the voice of Seaman is the same one that voiced our favorite FBI special agent, Francis York Morgan?
Wow.
Huh.
What the fuck?
I know, right? Seems like something that more people would know.
There's
I
FK
had
in the
no
water.
idea. Yeah. There you go.
Next.
Fine.
All right. Read email. Toss off joke. Next
Sorry.
email. You figure this out fast.
Fine. Brandon from Houston. In light of last week's Bombcast, I just wanted to say that Uniracers is a better Sonic than Sonic.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's
see
just
it.
true.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
All right,
No.
I got to keep these things coming.
I mean, well, I actually, I think that's
It's different.
that's a shitty thing to say about Uniracers. Likening it to that fucking horse shit is like Uniracers is a
Uniracers-
classic.
I'm glad I'm amongst friends here regarding Uniracers.
Uniracers is one of the greatest games of all time.
We should bust that game out
We
when
should.
come back from E3.
Yeah.
Great names for the racers.
Yeah. Those are all, yeah.
Joel from Dover, New Hampshire with a would you rather? Would you rather have a prehensile tail or retractable antlers? Let's say that the tail is 1/4 as strong as your weakest arm. The antlers won't break.
I can't do shit with that tail then.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was fully
You
on.
could like pick up an apple.
yeah,
you
you
know?
could pick up light things.
Maybe.
1/4 the strength of. Yeah, you couldn't do.
Well, I'm jacked. It doesn't show on the camera as much, but I've got huge, muscly
right.
arms that are just very big and strong.
Guns.
I sit at a laptop for
I was-
a living, so my arms are.
I was fully on board with the tail until the strength.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
antlers
what-
might be fun because you could just press your head up against somebody and then just go like, check this out, shtick, and then
Yeah.
and then kill him.
Or you put you could carry your all your grocery bags on the antlers.
Yeah.
One trip from the car.
That sounds like it'd be hard on your neck.
Yeah.
To get a hunchback that way or something.
Nice thing about the antlers being retractable is that you can not look like a fucking weirdo with a tail.
Oh, whatever. You can put your tail in your pants.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pants.
That's easy to tuck
Just,
away.
you tuck it up front. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's a front tuck, and people go like, "Holy shit, what the damn?"
Is that a tail in your pants, or
Yes,
are you
it is.
happy?
It actually is a tail.
Yeah, it actually.
It turns out it's a tail. Is the tail treated as is the tail erogenous in any way? Like, what could I use that tail for?
Oh, I see. He doesn't go into a lot of detail.
All right.
So.
Well, it's just as strong as your arm. So
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a gentle touch.
the stranger.
New sensations.
Yes.
That's what this podcast is all about.
Yep. That's for sure. Ben from Atlanta.
Hey, it's me.
What's up?
I wanted to ask your opinion about limited run games in this day and age of downloadable games. I know Jeff is a supporter of preserving games, and he's also a collector. What do you think about what do you think of the impact that limited run games leaves on the gaming and collecting community?
I'm not quite sure I understand.
Limited run games is a publisher, or I don't know. Are they a full publisher? Like what?
I mean,
They're a small outfit that puts out, as the name implies, limited runs of download like games that would otherwise be download only.
Oh, okay. I
They
see.
basically make physical releases possible for games that otherwise would not have gotten them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really weird.
But don't they tend to only do like a few thousand, or like maybe it varies from game to game? But
Yeah, it probably does vary, but
I
they
think it's
do a limited run.
yeah.
Limited run
But I mean, it
games.
is like very limited.
I think so. Like those games sell out. Like so, I think Broken Age just came out because I just got a physical copy of Broken Age in the mail from them, and I was like, why am
console?
I? Yeah, like PS4. Like why am I getting Broken Age in the mail? That's a weird thing. And it came with a checklist of all their other games.
What else
as
have
if,
they done?
as if that's something you could go collect now. I guess whatever anything's for sale for the right price, but I assume that the vast majority of their releases have been snapped up by people. But that's the thing is like it just seems like a really weird scarcity of a thing that I don't know that many people are that into in the first place. So
Some people just really like physical media.
Some people totally
for
do.
them.
Yeah, but is it for them or is it for like people that want to be
Slash collectors.
Are they getting it and leaving it sealed and going like, I've got a complete run of all the sealed limited run games? Like that's a crazy thing to do.
That is crazy.
Because you're buying things. Because if these things are being snapped up by all the people like that, then theoretically anyone in that mindset is going to get one, and then they're worth nothing because everyone just holds on to them forever, and no one wants the rest of it.
That's true.
Good God, they've put out a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of Vita
Jeez.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firewatch, Oxenfree, The Swapper, The Swindle, Dear Esther, Flint Hook, Risk of Rain. Yeah, Fury. God, they've done a lot of stuff. But yeah. Like I thought. Sorry, I was reading this list. You may have just said exactly this, but yeah, like people are kind of snapping them up because they are limited, right?
Yeah.
How's the art
like-
on the boxes?
It's okay. I don't know.
Fun. I mean, it looks like
It looks like a retail.
See,
game.
it's like a
It's
retail
got a
game.
barcode on the back. It's,
They should like do some weird Criterion collection stuff with it and just have like cool custom
yeah, like
art.
that
right.
would get my attention a lot more than just saying like, hey, this thing is physical now. Like
I think
actually
there's
adding
probably some
something to
people
it.
that feel like they want it on their shelf next to their other PS4
Oh, yeah,
games.
yeah,
and they
absolutely.
want like a normal looking
Yeah.
box. Or
I am the
something, but
complete opposite. I am as unsentimental as it gets about physical games. Like I would be happy if I never had another physical game in my life.
I'm not too far off from that for modern machines.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
for the stuff that like Indie Box is doing, they'll have like collectibles and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a Hyper Light Drifter that's, the SNES cart, that's like blue. It just looks cool.
Yeah.
I really like that game. I want to display stuff like it. But I don't want just a regular old, fucking box.
Yeah.
The only physical
To
games I
fit
want
on my
are
shelf.
like fighting games and stuff that I bring to a friend's place and be like, hey, let's go play
For the
this.
practicality.
But like
Yeah,
I can even sign in and do stuff like that.
I was gonna
now.
say by the time you do that, even with give it another month with Tekken or something like that,
Yeah.
like the download time of patches and stuff like that. At some point, you're like, maybe I just use a digital copy in the first place. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that whole concept because I'm not sentimental about physical media for games on the current platforms.
Yeah.
And part of that's probably because like I grew up with like a certain generation of games, and like those are the ones I maybe care about physically, and everything past that at some point is like But so maybe I'm sure there are people that feel that way about PlayStation 4 games, but I definitely don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the way everything has become a service in one way or another means that there's patches to deal with and all this other stuff that kind of mean you're going to have an internet connection and stuff that can get turned off someday. So I don't know. I look at the preservation stuff as vital, but also like preservation finds a way. Rogue efforts will preserve games if these physical things don't. So I'm not really too concerned about games being like quote unquote lost.
Yeah. As far as the fear that like the download services will go away one day, like I got into that argument you've made before of like by the time if and when that happens, we have a lot bigger problems than not being able to download video games.
Go read about net neutrality.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Ron writes in about Far Cry 5. Just wanted to pop in and say that the dog and recruitment mechanics are not new to the Far Cry series, and that has me extremely worried about this game. Far Cry Primal had a pet mechanic in the game, allowing you to recruit pets of different types, stealthy, fast, tanky, etc. You could send them out to do things for you, and yes, there was a dedicated pet button.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Far Cry Primal also had a recruitment component in the story. In order to progress, you had to capture different members of the other tribes and do loyalty missions for them to open up new upgrades and progress the story.
I would hope that this would be different than that, but yes.
I mean, you can take things from a not great mechanics from a not great game and take the good parts of them and iterate on them.
I think the point he's making is that they were sort of propping these up as like big new features for Far Cry 5 and not things that happened to also be in last year's game. He ends by saying, I'm calling it now. The game will probably have a quadcopter drone mechanic for tagging enemies, just like the owl in Primal as well.
At that point, then they're just making Wildlands too. So it's you know, like that's you know, one would hope that they would not do exactly stuff that their own games in different franchises have done.
I mean, it already seems obvious that the notable thing about Far Cry 5 is like the setting and the story.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what they're doing on the gameplay front.
We have to see more to know one way or the other on that stuff. You know, I think there's something a little different. If you think about Far Cry Primal, like it is a world teeming with fucking crazy animals. And a lot of the other Far Cry games have had that as well. But, you know, that's modern day Montana is a little bit different in terms of like what are the predators and what is the prey and all this other stuff. So I think that stuff could be shuffled up or would have to be shuffled up in order to just make sense.
Yeah.
So, you know, sending a dog out to grab a gun and bring it back to you is still different enough than what they did in Primal.
And it's really cool.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Telling your dog to go fetch a gun.
Go steal that guy's gun out of his hand and then bring it to me so I can shoot him with it. Yeah, you're right. That's cool. Yeah.
and then afterwards you can throw the gun again and the dog will play. You can play fetch with the dog.
All right. Yeah. But it is the setting and stuff like that is the current standout for that thing.
Okay, I'm going to add on to this email from Daniel and ask you to do it quickly in a condensed form. I recently got Tekken 7 and have no idea what in the world is happening. All I know is that there are volcanoes, a bear, and a wrestler wearing the Rainmaker gear. I need your vast knowledge of the Tekken universe to help me understand this groundbreaking story.
Okay, so Heihachi Mishima got married and had a kid. I can't really do this without spoiling because like the story mode of Tekken 7 is the full recap of the stuff that matters in Tekken 7. So
Heihachi trained a bear.
Yeah, it's the King of Iron Fist tournament. And sometimes they call the tournament on, but also there's a shadowy fucking nightmare happening around the tournament, and the reasons for the tournament sometimes serve these shadowy nightmares. And the Devil Blood is in Kazuya now, and that's fun. And also, Lucky Chloe is a pop star who is the face of the G Corporation also. So she's like a fucking straight up propaganda machine who can also fight.
Whatever happened to Mokujin?
Mokujin is stout, and he is shown on the screen where you pick which side you want to be, but he is not in the game as a playable character.
I have a Mokujin-themed player card.
That's not bad.
Mokujin's fun because it's a random select that changes per round.
That's right, yeah.
Or is it per round or per fight? It's per round.
I think it's per round.
Yeah. And so Mokujin was a lot of fun to play. I imagine that as load times got longer and longer.
load times are pretty long in
Yeah,
Tekken 7.
even on the PC on an SSD, like that game still seems to just take too long to do its shit.
It's a little better.
Oh yeah,
still not great.
It's better, but yeah, still.
I read that the Xbox version's loading times are almost twice
Oh wow,
the PCs.
Jeez,
gross.
That's
or even the PS4 Pros.
that is
Like it's like egregiously bad. Apparently,
I would that.
Didn't King save a bunch of orphans from a?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, he totally did.
King's just a dude,
Also,
right?
also, aren't there multiple kings?
There's Armor King.
No, but I mean, like even within just king.
The mantle of king has been
Whoever
So
takes
passed.
at
on
one
the
point,
mask.
I think original king became Armor King or vice versa,
Oh.
and so there was a new king.
Okay.
It was one of the orphans that had grown up and donned the mask.
yeah,
and,
that makes
there's
sense.
a whole
It's a whole thing.
there's
So
a
it is.
whole
It is just a
thing.
mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never tell.
For a while, I really liked
The tail's
believing-
real though.
Believing
He
that
just
he
talks
was
I mean,
just
Alex
just
and
a
Roger-
leopard man.
Alex and Roger also masks.
What?
What?
No.
Okay.
They are now.
I guess actually, yeah, they kind of are. Weirdly enough.
Whatever happened to Dr. Boskanovich?
He created Elisa, the robot lady with the fucking chainsaw hands.
Okay.
She's great.
What about Gon?
A licensed character that.
Oh,
did not
really?
appear. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Gon
actually a
King
licensed character.
was in
Yeah.
some fucking manga or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was some manga, and
Weird.
I want to say kind of recently he's got an anime, and it's fucking terrible.
I mean, Gon is terrible, so it makes sense.
Shut up. He's great.
Fucking worst.
Little dude falls over when he wins. And, oh, he's so cute.
All your attacks go over him. That's fun.
It's like Sir
For
Bot.
Gon.
Yeah.
He is a badass in that anime, though. Like
Gone.
he's god tier.
All right.
God tier.
Get a lot of fighting game questions these days.
A lot of
That's a
fighting games
lot of
coming out.
fighting games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's like I guess like
Justice, Guilty Gear, Tekken.
like it's kind of the season for it,
Yeah,
right?
I
Like
guess that's
they have
true.
to put them
Yeah.
out now so that they can be out by Evo and practiced by Evo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's-
Also,
it's-
I feel like the aggregate level of interest in fighting games has gone up on this podcast
You're welcome.
in recent
Yes,
weeks.
Thank you.
Let's say.
there's been some good ass fighting games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I assume it'll die down a bit after Evo.
Bear with us.
This is a pretty good question from Randall.
Ah.
Now that Tekken 7 is out, where do things go from here? Not in terms of Tekken 8. It's much too soon to talk about that. I mean, where do 3D fighters stand now? Tekken was the only one doing anything. Dead or Alive and Virtua Fighters got nothing going on, and all other current fighting games sport 2D gameplay. King of Fighters, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, Injustice, Mortal Kombat, Omen of Sorrows, Fantasy Strike. These aren't even real games.
Fantasy Strike.
Blaze Blue, Under Night, Arcana Heart, Pocket Rumble. Doesn't matter if they're indie or AAA, they're all 2D in nature. Where are the 3D fighters? I know anime fighting games tend to focus more on mobility than in-depth close combat fighting, and there's weirdly free-roaming stuff like For Honor and Absolver, and whatever the fuck ARMS is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The 8-way runs, the side steps, where did that stuff in 3D fighting games go extinct?
Real quick before we answer that, just because you mentioned Fantasy Strike, I watched a stream of the new Fantasy Strike game, which is the game from David Serlin, creator of Yomi and balancer
Is
of
this a card-
HD
is this a
Remix.
card game?
No, it's like
No,
it's like a Rising Thunder-esque game
Okay.
where it's
Yeah.
like the first fighting game you should play, where kind of they take the Yomi characters and give it's like a 2-button game or something like that. Very easy to enter, special moves. It looks pretty good. It looks like a very good elementary fighting game, and it's pre-alpha, but
I played a bit of it. I can't say I was super impressed, but I mean, like you said, pre-alpha, they've really got to bring it.
This new iteration of it, I had seen it once before, but this was like really tuned up. It looked
good.
a lot better than it used to look.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep checking in on that one. Yeah, Sterling's got a pedigree.
Yeah,
So.
dude knows his fighting games.
Anyway, yeah, he just, he closes by it.
Yeah, I mean, Sega's not what you want them to be anymore.
Yes,
They haven't been for a long time.
At the end, he mentioned even not just Virtua Fighter, but even Last Bronx or Fighting Vipers. I mean,
Right.
fucking zero chance any of those are getting
Yeah,
made.
I mean,
with a Star Wars game coming out every year, I think it's time for Masters of Terrascasi too.
yeah, that would probably do it. I would love to see. I mean, obviously, I would love to see a new Virtua Fighter. I don't think you can count DOA out. They put out that last round update or whatever, and they are still selling hundreds of dollars of swimsuit DLC
Per week.
No, I mean they're releasing hundreds of dollars. I don't know who's buying them, but
I
know.
I mean
some
other than you guys.
I know.
God damn it.
I'm spying them on your account.
Oh man.
You really gotta lock that
I am
up.
going to put passwords on all that shit now after last week. Yeah, it's DOA is fun. DOA 5 is actually like a good time.
And still 3D focused.
3D enough. I mean, as
Even
3D as
first person
Tekken or
focused.
yeah. You know.
I always felt like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like all those games went 3D as soon as they could.
Yeah.
Once the tech came along.
Right.
And then everybody burned out on it pretty fast. And then they were like, maybe the old way is better.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had Street Fighter 3 come along, and even around that time too, and Alpha and all that other stuff. Capcom kept doing its thing.
Right.
It's hard to innovate on just the fact that it's 3D, right? Because a new fighting game coming out has to have some sort of draw, right? This is the thing that separates this from other fighting games. And when your focus is on being a 3D fighter, it's like, okay, you have side steps. What else?
Like, and that kind of nullifies the impact and interest in like projectile attacks a lot of the time. So the fantastical moves you would put into a fighting game are a little less flashy in some cases. I mean, well, whatever. Tekken has a handful of projectiles, but they're just weird.
Yeah.
Like tigers.
Yeah, and they're anomalies. They seem strange in that format, and they're easy to sidestep. So it's a weird thing to include. But yeah. So if you think about where Tekken started and where Virtua Fighter started, like it was rooted in this, like, hey, these are more realistic fighters. Because
like more martial arts.
Yeah, we're
focused.
focusing on martial arts and trying to duplicate these forms and stuff like that. And I think that's a cool, because they did it in a way that didn't seem like totally boring. Like it still had enough flash to it to where it had enough impact
It's not
to
like
it.
super overly technical.
Right. Yeah. It's not like fucking like Bariki 1 or some of these other like martial arts themed games that came out over the years that just seemed almost more like sports than anything else. And
how about a new Bushido blade?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Sure. Let's do it.
That had side steps, right?
Yeah.
It's
I feel like
it's
weapons
tough to iterate on 3D stuff. And you just mentioned weapons. That was one way of them doing it, with Soul Calibur. But for whatever reason, that stuff just never stuck around. There was just like a huge influx of 3D fighters for a long time, and that's like all that was coming out.
I mean, Mortal Kombat became one.
Yeah.
But then went back. That's
Right,
kind of the thing. Everybody seems like they got their fill of it, sort of.
But like,
Bring back
2D gameplay just stood the test of time.
Bring back Clay Fighter, make it 3D.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, let's do it.
FX Fighter, Rise of the Robots.
Bloody Roar.
Think they'll make another Soul Calibur?
Yeah.
That'll probably happen.
Yeah.
But at this point, I actually am now back in for Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Like after seeing how they handled Akuma and also Elisa,
Yeah.
who is practically a Street Fighter character in the way she plays, I would like to see Namco's take on the Street Fighters.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Andy writes in about Injustice 2. It's my first NetherRealm game, and so far I have been really enjoying it. However, one thing really bugs me, and now that I have noticed it, I cannot unsee it. Whenever you KO a character with any move, be it the most feeble
I knew where
punch,
this was going.
be it the most feeble punch to a full super, the character always gets back up and then falls back over. For me, this totally neuters any sense of impact and satisfaction of a KO and irritates me so much that I am considering stopping playing the game.
Wow.
My question is this: has there ever been a situation where a small, seemingly insignificant flaw or design choice has so tarnished the game or a game so much for you that you stop playing? I just wanted to read this email because, like, that happened in, like, MK3.
Yeah.
And it's, what?
Yeah.
Is that just a nod?
I think so.
Is that like is that an intentional nod?
And they've done it for so long in Mortal Kombat as well. But, like, I think it's just kind of become part of their thing. The Tekken characters still fucking die and go, my back.
Yeah.
Like that's in there too, like it's
like arch their back.
Yeah. In the exact same animation that they've had for years and years and years. And
just this in particular though, because it always seemed like a bug in
MK3.
In MK, did 2 do it? I think it was just 3, if I remember. But it always stood out, It was always just a dumb, goofy little...
Yeah, it was like, it was animation snapping into the now I'm falling over animation, but I have to stand up to fall over.
So I have to get back up before I can fall over again.
Yeah, but also like Mortal Kombat has
get up to get down.
Yeah. It has the benefit of like you are standing up to be in your like fatality stance.
Right.
And Injustice doesn't have finishing moves. Right. So
I think it's hilarious that that's still in there.
It's really strange. I tend to agree that I think that is something they should probably take out. It's like a good bit of weird flavor that has these roots in years, of fighting game weirdness. But at the same time,
it's especially funny because when you consider how in the tournament scene, as soon as a round ends, they just hit start and immediately go down to character select. They never let the end of the round play out.
Yeah,
because as a carryover from like, I'm not going to let you do a fatality on me, so like you just kind of don't see that. I wasn't used to seeing that in Mortal Kombat games, and then when I started playing Injustice and like seeing that, it definitely stuck out as a weird like, oh, this is still a thing in here.
Right. Yeah. It's weird.
I stopped playing Blaze Blue because the fucking announcer, whenever there was a counter hit, it was like counter, and counters happen a lot in that game, and it was super annoying. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need this in my life ever.
There are probably a billion examples for me.
I can't think of any one specific
stuff
one
like that, but
yeah, nothing else comes immediately to mind. But that's just so weird. I had to bring that up. Andy from Ohio, last email. You are on the International Space Station, and
I am on the International Space Station.
Yes, you are.
Let me get in character.
And working with only one other astronaut. This astronaut goes rogue and is now trying to kill you.
Shit.
It's kill or be killed in zero gravity.
All right.
There are 2 weapons at your disposal, but you may choose only one. The question is, knife or bat?
I mean, knife.
0G knife.
0G?
Knife.
In 0G?
Oh, dude, I think I think in 0G you need reach.
No way, because
what if
can't...
if you are
can't get the inertia you need.
If you are not in range of a surface to push off of, knife doesn't do shit.
Cut open their fucking
spacesuit. Cut their fucking spacesuit.
Dude, if you're floating just far enough apart that you can't reach with the knife,
with the bat, you're not going to get enough velocity going with your swing.
Yeah, you are.
No, you're
in 0G?
Yeah. Reach, dude. I think reach trumps everything. When
I'm team bat 100% on the ground.
Poke me with that bat?
That's also crazy.
Well, I mean, who do you think's trying to kill you in this space station? A sane person?
An insane person is even less likely to be a good batsman, a good enough batsman to hit you in a debilitating way. If you are charging them
swing a bat.
full speed with a knife, even if they hit you, you are going to fall into them blade first and fucking end them.
No way, you get too disoriented.
I'd have such a head of steam, it wouldn't matter. I could be out on my feet and I would still fucking fall into them knife first.
The knife thing with the space station is the stakes are even higher, so that any puncture wound, anything, anywhere in the body you hit the...
You're not wearing a spacesuit on a space station. It's pressurized.
Okay.
Then I would use the bat and break the fucking window and we both die.
Yeah.
Or I'd get to a spacesuit and put it on and then I break the window with the bat.
I feel like it's easier to dodge a bat in 0G because you can kind of...
I guess
Matrix that shit.
Space stations have... Maybe I'm getting this idea from movies, but lots of stuff that you can kind of grab onto and they kind of stabilize yourself everywhere.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can kind of make an approach and juke them out a little bit easier.
Or kick off a wall, knife first.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're not in reach of a wall, the knife doesn't do shit.
Space station it's pretty tight quarters.
It is fairly tight quarters.
So you really probably wouldn't have a lot of room to swing a bat in there either.
Yeah, maybe not.
So I'd probably stab a guy. It'd be fun to see the blood.
Yeah. Once the knife comes out
coming out
and
of the
blood
wound,
just kind of trails out like that, that's extra effective.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. If someone saw that and it was happening to them, they would stop and go, "That's cool. Wait, that's me." And then you have time to get them a couple more times. Yeah, carve them up.
Yep. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. That's it for emails. Thanks for listening. To this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being on this podcast.
Anytime.
Yeah. Things are a little chaotic this week.
I'd say.
With E3 stuff happening.
Yeah, we're recording next week's E3 predictions podcast this week.
Yes, that will
some other stuff.
The embargo same as usual next Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, it'll be the Tuesday show.
No, but I mean in terms of when it goes up, it's basically when the show floor opens.
Yeah.
If you want to hear us make a bunch of ill-informed predictions about what will be at E3.
I have a prediction. We're going to be very wrong.
Based on past years, I would say kind of wrong.
Yeah, wrong enough
is about where we land.
We'll be wrong enough.
Somewhat right.
Very wrong.
Somewhat right, somewhat wrong. But that'll be up as the show opens next week.
Yeah.
I think New York's doing some stuff.
Yeah, they
still have a functional studio.
I think they're taking Wipeout and some other stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll look at some games out there.
Yeah.
And we were getting that production, that podcast. All our stuff's gone. Like the truck came yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Loaded up the truck.
It's on its way.
We got stuff's in the wind.
Not much of a studio right now.
Yeah. So
And then we're out of here Friday morning.
right. Yeah. I will be driving.
Oh yeah, are you? Is there a stream for people to?
Yeah, I'll be driving.
Mixlering.
Hit me up on Twitter, and I'll post a link to that there.
Starting Friday morning.
I'll probably be taking a lot of calls. So
By
if you
yourself,
wanna
right?
Call in with questions. Yeah.
I'll call you from the plane.
That's right. Call me from the plane.
Man, that's
and
pretty
say,
good. You should totally do that.
I'm on a plane. Fuck you. And I'll be like, I'm eating corn dogs.
Oh man.
At a gas station.
damn.
So
Don't get gas station botulism.
no, I'm gonna get the most gas station botulism. So don't worry about me.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be kind of a spotty week, but there'll be some stuff happening here and there.
Yeah, and then end of the week we'll be doing E3
Yeah,
stuff.
as of Saturday, sometime we will start streaming.
Yeah.
What time is the EA thing? 1?
That sounds right. I think
I'll say.
our goal is to be up and running with some pre-show stuff about a half hour before each event. And
12.
12. Okay.
I'm sorry, EA starts 12.
Okay.
on
So
Saturday.
the goal for us will be to be on camera talking at 11:30.
Yeah.
So
on
Wait,
Saturday.
we're gonna be on camera?
oh yeah, like we are right now.
Wait.
You ready to be online? It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yep.
The most online.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. See you Saturday with E3 stuff.
Right. Jeez.
Be there.
Okay. For a great shave at a great price, join the Dollar Shave Club today. New members get their first month of the Executive Razor and a tube of Dr. Carver's Shave Butter for only $5 with free shipping. After that, razors are just a few bucks a month. That's a $15 value for only $5. Get yours at dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast.